Boys and girls, girls and boys, what is going on, my mad lads? My beautiful morons like me? I mean, I'm sure you all are very excited for another King Jiffy Code stream. The biggest idiot on YouTube, the guy with the worst camera, the dude who's wrong about everything. It's your boy. It's the man with the smallest penis on the market, the Micro King, King Jiffy Codes. There you guys go. That's a good intro. But yeah, dude, we're gonna do an awesome stream tonight. Dude, the guy with the worst. I love the thumbnail and title I made for this. I'm roasting the hell out of myself. I am a garbage YouTuber, but I just seem to keep showing up because I'm a chaos demon, baby. I'm an absolute chaos demon. You're like, oh my god, how many wieners does he have? One, and it's not very big. Well, look how stupid he is. He's wrong. He went after this guy. Whoa, no, he's the gayest of them all. You're welcome. You're welcome. Not everybody goes down to the local glory hole and sucks the perfect amount of cocks. I even go down to the other glory hole where they like position their vagina in the hole and I'll eat the pussy for them. I just do the things because I'm an absolute spurg monster. I'm a demon. I'm the worst and the best and the king of the trash. We are here. But today I got a pretty fun stream for you guys. We're going to be getting into a bunch of different topics. A fellow YouTuber friend or acquaintance of mine who I've talked to about content before. He's got a couple videos. I've never watched his stuff, but I like gave one of his newest video a quick listen. I didn't want any spoilers for the certain anime that his newest video's on, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna go to some of his other stuff that seems pretty interesting to me because I like his voice. Okay, and we're gonna get into some of that. I got Adam 22 on the lineup. I got a couple of animation videos that look fire. I'm talking about so fire that I'm having red poops. Now, if you don't know what red poops are, that doesn't mean you're bleeding internally. That's black poop. We'll always go to a doctor if you got black poop. Like, and I'm talking about like charcoal. If you're pumping out some like grilling poops, some shit that looks like you could go right on the grill and cook up some meat, that's doctor level. Now you're normal, like darker brown, I think you're okay. I'm not a doctor by any means, but I know that type of poop is a little bit wackadoodly. But when you got that red poops, you've been eating some hot Cheetos, and that's the type of, there's some fire poops. They char up the rim of the butthole type stuff. That's what I'm talking about when I say some fire animations. Now, I don't actually know how good the animation is. It just looked pretty interesting. We got some Endo DeGeneres. We got some One Punch Man, Omni-Man. Dude, we have a full-ass docket tonight. We have the biggest, the best docket. It's called Blood in the Butt. Seymour! My boy, Poor Papa's back. I haven't seen you in a while, my dude. Welcome to a chaos stream, my dude. Welcome, welcome, welcome. By the way, Seymour, I got somebody said they were sending me a RTX 580 in the mail, so I'm going to be upgrading my PC a little bit. I'm not going like massively, but he said he had an extra one. He was wanting to know if I wanted it. I said sure. So I might be getting one of those. That's cool. But without further ado, the worst YouTuber in the world, King Jiffy Coats, is here to stay. Doesn't matter how much you hate him, I'm going to keep reveling in it, baby. But let's get into this first one. This is from the Old Weeb. The Old Weeb. He is old, he's weeby, he's got, when he makes his morning doo-doom, when he makes his normal morning doo-doom in the toilet, he knows that it is old and powdery, and that is the weeb we're talking about today, and this is called the Anime Denial Club. Fans refuse to believe facts about their favorite series. Now, I'm wondering if he's gonna go after some of my favorite series. We're gonna find out. I want to know what the criticisms he has on these anime shows. So, are you guys ready? I'm ready. I might be yelling too much. It's probably destroying my poor mic, but let's get into it.
Hear Jay talk about how certain groups of anime fans, I swear, do not have eyes, or they're the most disingenuous people you've ever meet in your life. There's some points in anime where you realize something might be wrong, a plot hole, etc. And if you can recognize it, you think someone else who enjoys the media be able to be criticized it too. But unfortunately, they can't, and they will make mental gymnastics and find every which way to try to defend their show from any level of criticism. Let's get into it.
I mean, I like that. I kind of, here's something I critique on people, and this is just a me critique as a viewer and not as a YouTuber, because I used to have a long intro in my videos. If you do an intro then an intro, a lot of people will kick off because of it. That is something a lot of bigger YouTubers have told me. They told me to kick my intro. I said, skibbly doodle, my dude. I will pop that dude right out of here. Just pop it like a pimple right off of my left butt cheek. You know what I mean? Now, this is so far looking pretty good, but...
I think the easiest ones to focus in on right now would be the big three, but I have more like obscure examples. But let's go with the big three one by one. Starting with Bleach. Bleach out of the big three is probably the one that's most beguiled and also the one most disrespected, because every time someone makes...
By the way, I will fully admit that Bleach, it has a ton of problems. And when I tell people to watch Bleach, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna let you know, Bleach starts off rough. I mean, rough is like... You know when you've had, like, a bunch of spicy, like, chili, and you also drink a really big soda, and then you have that burp where some bile comes back in your throat and it burns you, but it still tastes like the chili, so you're not too mad? That's kind of how Bleach's early seasons are, mainly because if you don't look up the filler list, you'll end up with the, like, Bukaki arc or whatever it's called, and... That shit just ain't it, Chief. It ain't it, Chief. It is not what this world's about, bro. It is so Middleton. It is so freaking Middleton. Have you seen the price for Switch shit? Oh, dude, the Switch stuff, so expensive. So garbage. Dude, Switch better, like, the Switch 2 better pull out, like, a pocket pussy onto my wiener and start going... in order for me to pay those prices. I mean, I am excited because the Switch 2 looks cool, but they came, the sad thing is they're launching the console at an affordable price, but it's just really the price of the games, dude. Insane. And the problem too, and this is what a lot of people aren't thinking about, and I know I'm off topic now, but I'll wrap this up really quick. The biggest problem is Switch or Nintendo hates dropping the price of their games. So once they set that shit at a price, you might get like a $10-20 discount down the line, but it won't ever be like the deep discounts you see for other developers. But yeah, no, Bleach has a bunch of mid that's going on, and some of the, I think that the arc where they go like to the underground or whatever, the end of that arc is amazing, but the arc kind of outlives its welcome. It gets really boring in the middle. All of the Bleach arcs about in the middle of the arc get really boring. And it sucks because I love Bleach. I'm a huge Bleach fan. I think the later seasons, especially the last season before they relaunched the 1,000-Year Blood War or everything, that is an amazing arc. The one where the main character loses his powers. So good. So good. And he's like getting these new powers and he finds out the guys are evil, which you knew from the beginning. But I didn't find a lot of slow portions in that arc. I thought that arc was just amazing. And then the 1,000-Year Blood arc is just fucking so many erections.
It's a tier list involving like top 3, top 5 anime of all time, and they usually include Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball. People are always like, where's Bleach? Bleach deserves to be in there. Bleach is
dude, if Naruto's in there, Bleach is better. Naruto is garbage. Naruto is trash. Naruto, you know what the best thing about Naruto would have been? If they never would have wrote it.
The big three, put some respect on his name. The problem is that Bleach has what I would call a no goals problem, but also it has a problem with repeated story beats, which sounds strange in the shonen genre, but hear me out. Anime is very formulaic across decades of its work, but the problem in Bleach is that each of the arcs in Bleach after Ichigo gets his soul reaper powers are the same arc, except for the last two. Meaning, in the Soul Society arc, he's going to go save somebody who got taken by.
Well, in the last two, the thing that they had to do too that I feel is here's the thing. So everything's about getting new powers, building up, which is very formulaic, very like other things. But the reason why the last two are so good, and it's why it's above, is because after he learns how to become his demon form and he fights Wachima Madouche and beats him, the ultimate powered Soul Reaper or whatever, he then like loses his powers in order to survive. And then it's just about how he gets them back. And it's not about him obtaining new powers. It's about him like building and like learning to be himself. And you actually get to see like real character structure, I guess. You get to see somebody who's like used to be the best and now is broken down. I don't know. I really like Bleach, the arc right before he fights the big guy, and then the big guy, and then the next two I thought were amazing. It's so much work to get to there. It really is, and it's where I see Bleach as being more mid at compared to what it could be. Because if you look at like the last 4 arcs, they are fucking S tier arcs. They are S fucking tier arcs. And then everything before that is just a B tier. You know what I mean?
Enemy force. The Arrancar arc. He's going to save someone who was taken by the enemy force.
The Arrancar arc. The Arrancar arc is the one that had like was so boring until it got to the good stuff. The Arrancar arc starts off fire, has a long time before it gets really interesting, then gets interesting in like the last third, and it builds up to the next arc, which the next arc is amazing, and it didn't feel like it was like overblown or anything. And I actually thought that the show could have ended. It could have just cut the show.
And then
Cut the show right after they beat the main guy after the Arrancar arc, whatever the next arc's called. He's going to say it in 2 seconds. But after that arc, they could have just cut the show. It could have been over. He lives his life. That would have been a good ending. But I think when they did bring it back and the way they brought it, he comes back. It's such an interesting dynamic of what they do. And I really love the arc where he's working with the guy with the cross sword and everything and trying to find out what it means to be like this other style of Slayer that isn't one of the other guys. I don't know. There was a lot that happened that was really cool, and I think it really built into the 1,000-Year Blood War really, really well.
the Fullbringer arc.
Fullbringer. It was Fullbringer. But there's one between the Arrancar and the Fullbringer.
Arguments about that one? You could say there was no one to be saved. In the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, he had to go to not one, but 2 different dimensions to save people who were being attacked by an outside force. But nothing.
Oh, but I'm gonna do an argument on the 1,000-Year Blood War. Because they knew the attack was coming. It wasn't really that he was saving him. They knew the attack was coming, and they were preparing him to be the biggest Giga Chad possible to go bring some business because he had the most potential to end this. It was like they knew that a war was coming. They needed to bulk everybody up, and that was the deal. And that's what makes it so freaking interesting. That's what makes it so freaking interesting in the 1,000-Year Blood War. Is it's not just go save somebody. It's like we're gonna be fucked in the ass. And we need all hands on fucking deck in order to do this shit.
About this was about what he personally wanted or was shooting for. It was more of all reactionary to what was happening in the world. He didn't really
not in the Fullbringer. It was about what he wanted, which was interesting.
Have a path that he was taking. And when you talk to Bleach fans and say Ichigo doesn't have a goal or any main driving force, they will be like, well, no, his whole goal was, protect his friends and, protect his hood. That was like, that's not a goal. That's just something normal people do with their friends. It doesn't make him any more special, except the writer gave him every race in the show.
Well, I do have to disagree with the Fullbringer. I think the Fullbringer was the most you saw Ichigo wanting to do something because it was for Ichigo. I think the Fullbringer arc, and that's why it's one of my favorite arcs, and it's where I went from Bleach being okay to it's awesome.
Show, but to say that he fundamentally doesn't have an overarching goal to his story would be disingenuous if you didn't read it. Well, I've read all of Bleach multiple times for arguments, as well as just I enjoyed the series through high school. The fact is that Ichigo does not have an overarching goal that he's pushing the story like Luffy or Naruto. We know both of them want.
Naruto fucking sucks though. This is way better than Naruto. I don't care if Naruto has a goal, but it fucking sucks, and everything about Naruto is boring and shitty, and I hate Naruto. This is actually fun to watch. Naruto is fucking boring.
To be the top of their worlds, either the Hokage or the King of the Pirates. But what does Ichigo want? He literally wants just to relax and chill and enjoy his life. He's not that ambitious.
And that's fine. And that's fine. I don't think, here's the thing, I don't think it's actually a critique that he doesn't have these giant arching goals and stuff. I think just him wanting to be good at what he does and just enjoy, like, wants to chill and just fucking kill demons. I think that's fine. I don't think he has to have a giant arching goals. I think that the world's interesting enough and there's enough stuff going on that brings him into it, and he's just kind of like that reluctant main character, which I don't think they utilize enough in stories anymore, because that used to be kind of a trope. Is maybe not an anime, but I know in a lot of things where it's like it's like the Die Hard character, right? The Bruce Willis in Die Hard, John McClane doesn't really have any ambition. He doesn't really have anything going on. He's just there and reacting to the situations. In every single Die Hard movie, he is reacting to the situations, and all of them except for the one that he is with his son are good movies. I think they're all really fun. Live Free or Die Hard was really fun. Die Hard 1 through 3 are really good, but it's all reactionary. It's all normal guy in the situation, and I think that's what makes Ichigo the most relatable out of the big three, is because he just feels like your normal dude. He feels like somebody who is thrust into a world that he has knew nothing about, but the whole world, everything in his entire life from his birth has known about this world that he is thrust into, and it's like he was kept out of the loop. So he's the normal guy getting shoved into bullshit, and I really like that aspect of him. And I think that was the main intention, and I don't think that he needs to have more ambition than just normal dude shoved into bullshit.
Just gonna be the knock against him. Now let's go to One Piece. One Piece gets a lot of flack from both its episode count to its pacing, which are genuine arguments. As someone who's mostly had to read One Piece because I got tired of the pacing and how long the anime takes, I'm not going to say the show is not fantastic when it comes to characters, world, powers, but it has flaws.
Easily the best of the big three, by the way. This is easily worlds and leagues apart from the other two in the big three. Because if I had to rank them, obviously One Piece is way fucking up here, right? It's way up here. Then fucking Bleach is like down here. And Naruto is in another county or another version of the internet in another dimension, which is the trash zone.
And if you don't see the flaws, you don't have eyes. I can think of many things that I wish I could show, but you know Toei does not like to have people talk about their anime on YouTube, but they'll let you do longer things. When it comes to scenes in the anime and how we'll have at least 2 to 3 minute wide shots of just two characters facing off and staring each other down before any real action is thrown, and this will happen over the pace of like 3, 4, 5 episodes, or we get recaps of the last episode 5 minutes into the new episode.
Yeah, no, this is a huge problem, and I guess Netflix is doing like a more streamlined version of One Piece that's like animated, like anime style. As well as I tell people all the time, if you're going to get into One Piece, the best thing to do is to just watch the live action. And anybody out there that's like, I'm in the live action, shut the fuck up, you pussy ass bitch. You're a pussy bitch, and everybody knows you're a pussy bitch. The One Piece live action really sums up the first big arc in a really easy way. It does it streamlined. I think it was pretty good. I think that they hit all the important beats. And if you really like that, and you're like, I want more, dude. Just, I want more, daddy. Then go watch the actual anime. But I'm telling you, the live action cuts you down like 100 something episodes, down to like 10 or 8 or 10. I can't really remember how long the live action was, but I think it did a really good job of the first arc. And I'm excited to see what they do with the second arc, because it does have the same series runner as the first arc. He did just quit though. He said that after season 2 he's done, which is sad. So I don't know what's gonna happen to season 3. I really trusted this guy because it seems like like he really cared, and I'm hoping season 2 lives up to the same hype as season 1. We will see, but it's all about, I think that if Netflix can really lock down like a more streamlined version, it would be nice for new fans into the genre, new fans into One Piece, because it is a daunting task, and it goes from like potato quality all the way up to like admittedly some of the best fights in all of anime, but it's like goes like that old anime that a lot of people are just kind of janky with to new, because it's been going for so fucking long, and I think that it does need a kind of a refresher.
We're not really getting the right amount of content for what should be a grand adventure. And the thing is, while One Piece definitely has best side characters in comparison to Naruto and Bleach, our main character Luffy fundamentally hasn't changed.
I don't care. I want Luffy to stay the same. I want Luffy to say this, and you know, it's not true that he hasn't always changed. He has seen where he wasn't good enough and had to. There's been moments where he's been put on the spot and had been forced to change from some of his other crewmates like Zoro and stuff. And it's almost like he is best the way he is, and not to fuck him up, because I don't fucking want him to be a main character like a Naruto. I fucking hate Naruto. I did not enjoy Naruto. I know I've said it like 47 times in this video, and I say it anytime I know Naruto is going to be brought up. I don't like Naruto. I don't think it's good. I didn't like him as a main character. I found him to be one of the most insufferable, fucking whiny pieces of shit ever put in a fucking manga or anime ever. And it's just like, I look at Luffy in One Piece and I'm like, dude knows how to just get to business quick. He just gets to business, right? He's like, oh, this guy wants to fuck with me, I'll fight him. All right, and then afterwards we can be friends. But right now, dude, I'm not gonna like sit here and whine to you why we should be friends instead of fighting. We're just gonna fucking duke it out real quick, and then we can talk about it later. And we'll have a different respect for each other because we just whoop the shit out of each other. And I like it. I like Luffy the way he is, and I think that there could be some colossal big changes later on, where he starts to learn more and become a little more grounded. But even then, I don't think I would want it, because I love the way he is. I think that everyone else with their growth and their ambition and their change, I think that they all worked for it. And I think Luffy, when he needs to be serious, he's serious. But when he the rest of the time, him just being Luffy and just being amazing, I love it. I don't want him to change. Now, I know that some people might take it as a critique, and that's fine. That you watch One Piece, you don't like him as a main character, you're like, I would like to see a bunch of growth or something. That's fine. That everybody is welcome to their opinion. I understand it as a critique in terms of a story. I just love the fact that he is the constant. It's like when I'm watching like the Naked Gun movies with Leslie Nielsen. I like that Leslie Nielsen is the straight guy. Leslie Nielsen is never doing a bit. He is going into these comedies as the serious actor, and everything around him is goofy. So the fact that Luffy is the serious one, or Luffy is the goofy one, when a lot of the other characters are really serious when all the shit's about to go down, it's refreshing. It's almost like he's so naive, and he doesn't care that he's naive. That he's just going to keep doing his shit. And I think that it works so well for the storytelling and the world building.
His character, since like the beginning, he's definitely grown up in a sense because of what happened during Marineford. But if you look at the way he carries himself in every arc and every kind of interaction, he's the same dude every single time, which is an inherent problem. He's a consistent character, I would say, but where's the true like growth in relation to, say, Naruto and some other animes?
Naruto's fucking garbage. Here's the thing, everybody talks about like Naruto and growth. Naruto is the same annoying little prick from the beginning. He just gets more powerful. He's the same thing from fucking episode 1 all the way through the pain arc, which is all I watched. I watched the pain arc because everybody said, you gotta get to the pain arc, you gotta get to the pain arc, then it gets good. So I watched all the way through the pain arc, and he's the same fucking insufferable prick throughout all of it. He's just whiny and complaining, and he's the victim, and he needs this, and nobody respects him here. And then he like does something cool, and he works like, don't get me wrong, like his power scaling and stuff, he does get stronger, but he still is whiny. He's still fucking. I hate him. I just don't like Naruto. I never liked a single thing. And his character would develop a little bit, but it was more like the side characters. Some of the side characters in Naruto are the only reason that I kept watching the show. Like Jiraiya. And when Jiraiya died, I was like, fuck this, dude. You mean I have only Naruto now? And at that point, Sasuke had already gone and like went to the other side. The girl you barely ever see anymore, and it's just fucking Naruto. You're just, and it was so fucking annoying, dude. Believe it. Let's talk about our feelings. Shut the fuck up, Naruto, dude. Fuck that show.
Are the big three, is that most of Luffy's crewmates are usually the ones who have changed, evolved, and have been some of the more driving forces between Luffy versus Usopp, Zoro being the one to take on Luffy's pain, like Sanji abandoning the crew, the whole Kick Island arc. Like, most of the time we see more character development and story through his crewmates than himself, because he's just kind of along for the ride. And again, don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic character, better than Ichigo, but to act like he has not been stagnant for the majority of the run is again disingenuous. Now let's get to Naruto. And Naruto, of course, has its mixed share of plot holes and issues that one could bring up, sort of plot holes. But I think one of its biggest flaws is due to simply the fact that Kishimoto wrote himself into a corner and how to deal with Madara, and it kind of very much sullied the ending of the show, even though that wasn't even the real end. We still had 2 whole battles left over after the fact, but it's such a terrible...
I never watched this shit. I just, like, I watched the Pain arc and I just couldn't give a fuck. Like, you just can't pay me to give a fuck about Naruto. I pushed so hard on Naruto. I tried so hard. I went in with a completely open mind. Was like, I'm gonna give this a shot because I'd watched Bleach. I'd watched One Piece. I was like, okay, everybody tells me to watch this one. It was the one that everyone was recommending. I mean, you go on fucking Hulu, Crunchyroll, all of them are like, watch more Naruto. And I watched it and I just do not like it. I don't find it memorable. I don't find any of the characters other than Jiraiya interesting. The gray-haired guy with the covered eye is okay, but it's just, everything's okay. It's like stuff that other anime I think do way better. There's moments where you see like, oh, this is kind of okay, and then it's just, I don't know. I really didn't like Naruto.
Taste in people's mouths and how much Madara was built up, that it was such a letdown that it's a fair criticism. What's not a fair criticism is when it comes to people's kind of attack on the show in relation to how its powers and abilities work, as if things weren't blatantly shown or seen. And then there's something that I think relates to all 3 of these shows, and that's how all these battles shown in anime, even though One Piece is more of a journey shonen, have data books that give statements to about certain powers and abilities of the show. And I find it weird that with Naruto data books compared to One Piece and Bleach, we all have to have eyes. We all read them, but I'm supposed to somehow undermine the Naruto ones compared to the other ones, and like statements that are saying things made of this versus that, despite having the same composition. Like, what are we doing here? And it just, I don't understand why we have to stop reading and start imagining. Another thing about Naruto, people say that, you know, Sasuke has some mad plot armor as far as things that definitely should have killed him. But my thing with that is, we're not going to talk about that in any way, shape, or form in comparison to what happened in both Bleach and One Piece.
Well, see, we're not actually critiquing Naruto, though. I feel like he's defending Naruto. It's almost like he's the fan refusing to believe shit about Naruto. And again, I like this guy. There is so many, like, so much stupid shit that happens in Naruto that's just like, okay, we're just gonna go by that. All right. Like, everything breaks down to big fights about to happen. It sort of happens. Fucking Naruto tries to talk his way out of it. Big fights about to happen. Naruto talks his way out of it at the end. Feelings, gay. I don't like Naruto.
With Bleach, the amount of times I've seen someone in that show bifurcated, straight up cut in half, cut in 2, cut down, and they're not going to die, that could be a result of them being Shinigami, but then what's the point of showing the dramatics of that attack if it meant nothing? And then in
Yeah, by the way, this is not a gripe I had on it. I just thought Naruto as a character sucked. I just didn't enjoy him. I didn't find anything relatable about him. I thought that every time he got to the end of an arc and it was like, I don't want to fight. I'm going to be the Hoagie. I don't want to fight. No, everyone bullies me. Wah, 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 wah. That's what I didn't like about Naruto, dude. That was the whole show.
One Piece, Oda himself has stated that he doesn't have people die a lot in the show because he wants to draw parties after every arc, so characters will survive these absurd attacks that quote could be city level.
And I have no problem with any of this. I actually don't mind. I didn't ever think like, oh, it's crazy that Sasuke didn't die. I don't care about that, dude. This is not a gripe I had personally.
All the way up to maybe country level, and they're just brushing them off like nothing happened, or they just simply don't die because Oda said, nope, I want to throw a party at the end of this arc. You have to be able to say, come on now, some characters should just bite the dust. And a different kind of talking point, and something I'm probably going to dive into a more detailed video, is the kind of condemnation of one anime compared to another, despite having very similar themes, motivations, and outright kind of main characters out of question of morality, and that's Rising of the Shield Hero and Redo of Healer. Both of these shows involve, you know, a male character who has been put into a party system with certain roles, be it a tank, healer, DPS, etc., and have been super mistreated, downright, you know, turned into a second-class citizen by a princess of a kingdom. The only difference is Nafumi got even over the course of the entirety of season 1 and got vindication by turning their name from one thing to another, and Kiraru got personally involved with how he got his revenge against the princess and her sister, who's the other princess, who were both abusing him. And the idea that one show, I guess, gets vilified compared to the other for reasons that we can easily surmise, but I think it's the fact that they're both revenge stories, and the idea that we have to feel...
The problem with Rise of the Shield Hero, to be honest, is once you get through the fact where he gets his revenge, the show gets really mid really fast. I actually liked the intrigue of Rise of the Shield Hero when he was on, like, the scrape at the bottom of the shoe, and then like he gets through that and he's like fighting a turtle and shit, and I just don't care. I really wanted to love Rise of the Shield Hero. I thought that it was really interesting. I thought the characters were dynamic. I liked the fact that he got his, the people who, like, poo-pooed on him and accused him of actually vile stuff. He got his revenge. But my problem with Rise of the Shield Hero is everything that comes after is incredibly forgettable. Like, incredibly forgettable. And I kept watching because I liked the early, I think it was the first season so much that I think I watched all three. I think there's 3 seasons. I watched all 3 seasons, and I can only tell you what happened in the first season, to be honest. That's it. I know he has, like, a village. He has, like, a village, and he, like, does stuff only when he has to because he has the village. But to be honest, it was just, it gets so mid after the great first season. I feel like they could have made it last a little longer. I don't know. I feel like there's other animes that have now done the trope where it's like they get kicked out of the party and they come back and they're like doing their own thing now way better. One is coming to mind is, I don't know, it's about something, it's like another, I was kicked out of the heroes party. Now I want to be like I want to open a drugstore or something. That one's actually, it's not great, but it's, I don't know, it's fun. The first season was really good. I haven't watched the second season. It might be poop, but I enjoyed the first season, how it was just kind of like a more laid back look at it, and how I don't know, if you've seen it, let me know in the comments below what you think, but I really liked the direction that one's gone. I've been kicked out of my A-ranked party is interesting. It's a little cheesy at points, which like it's a fantasy fucking anime anyways, and those are kind of mid to begin with. A lot of them are mid, but I think that it has more dynamic in its characters. But there's also that other one, or the got one with the magic guns that I'm sorry, but that shit I wanted to like because I was like, oh, gun magic, and then it was just kind of like made me uncomfortable because it's a bunch of like, it's like got that harem, it's got the harem thing, but the harem thing is like, let's see how many we got 1,000-year-old vampire, and let's put her in skimpy outfits, and I'm like, yeah, no, dude, get the fuck out of here, dog. I don't like that.
Sympathy for the characters that they're happening to is crazy, simply due to the fact that what were they doing to the main character? And then people will say an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, and I'm like, maybe in terms of the real world, but in the fantasy setting, that's perfectly within their realms because that's the world that they created. That's the world that they
I'm
live.
still mad that he didn't critique Naruto. Dude, we gotta, I like this guy. I think he's made a good video, but the fact that he blew by and just defended Naruto makes him a fan that refuses to believe facts about their favorite series. Because I'm not the only one that thinks Naruto is a terrible main character. I am not the only person that believes that. There's other people that believe it, but the Naruto fandom will come up with like defenses for it and then use the big three as a comparison when it's like, dude, Naruto fucking sucks, dude. Like, to be honest, and I do kind of hate that he didn't look into more criticisms about Naruto. I think that kind of puts him as in the same category of the people he's talking about.
By and some for more medieval and like European style animes, that was the way in history. Another distinction between two characters of vastly different animes and then vastly different results, but want the fundamental same thing and have talked about it, but don't get compared in the same light, would be Monkey D. Luffy and Eren Yeager. Both of them are after the idea of pure freedom and the ability to do whatever they want, however they want, by standing atop of the world in a way. It's just Eren was about that action, and Luffy kind of just, it's a terrorist who runs around.
Okay, we're gonna stop for a second before we call him, Luffy a terrorist. I'm gonna be real here. Eren Yeager literally is a terrorist. He literally like bombed like civilians in order to hold on,
around helping his friends in the name of terrorism. And the idea that they're not the same is only due to the actions of Eren, but kind of ignoring.
Eren does acts of terrorism in the show. Like, I'm not crazy here. He's like an actual terrorist. And then he goes for like all world genocide. Now, I haven't seen I didn't watch the ending of Attack on Titan because to be honest, I don't love Attack on Titan that much. It's good. It's just not my favorite. It has like good stuff going, but I just don't love it. I never was like, oh, dude, Attack on Titan's the best. I watched it. I'm like, it's good. It's just not. I don't know. The main character just kind of becomes like, you kind of see him going down this route of I'm gonna go and kill all these different people, and it's like, yeah, like you can look at the other group, like that other city and stuff that he's going after as like they're kind of like a fascist regime, but he's still a terrorist in that against that fascist regime. You can make that same excuse like for Luffy, but Luffy doesn't like intentionally go into an area planning on destroying it, right? There is usually something that happens that then changes it to where the battle begins. Eren goes into these areas with the intention to fuck shit up, intention to destroy things, which is with the intentions of acts of terrorism. He like goes to an area, formulates an entire idea how he's gonna destroy festivals and shit with by turning into a giant fucking titan, and it's like, yes, he is a fucking terrorist. Like, Luffy, on the other hand, is just like a pirate in a world, right? He's just like doing his thing. It's the age of pirates. There's millions of pirates out there, and he's sailing the seas. And some of those other pirates run into him and then want to cause shit for him, and he fucking fights back. That's really how One Piece always breaks down. There's been a few times where he's gone to a place to save somebody, and he's there to fuck shit up, but usually those are against like the one example I 100% am thinking of is the Big Mom arc and then the Kaido arc are kind of that way, right? And they're pirate islands, so it's just like, is that as much terrorism as he's fighting other pirates who have taken over places? I mean, if we're putting him in the spot that pirates are terrorists, right? Okay, then terrorists have taken over these islands, so we're taking down another terrorist because they are pirates. That's where the logic is kind of falling down. And you look at Attack on Titan, he's actually doing terrorism, even though the people that put him on the in the little world of Attack on Titan, where they're in their little fucking their walled city, they're just it's like, yeah, they're in a bad situation. They were kind of forced into this place. I get that. I'm not saying that them going out and attacking the world isn't like just, but I'm still saying that he's going to other civilizations and terrorizing them.
His motivations, where he personally just wanted his friends to have a good life and enjoy themselves, and Luffy, for the most part, wants to have his friends and crewmates enjoy themselves and have a good life. And
that's not true, because at the end he goes entire scorched earth to like the world, and that's not like, if you're destroying the entire world, what's that gonna leave for your friends?
As though Luffy hasn't caused wanton destruction across the One Piece world in relation to how Eren did the rumbling. They're one and the same. It's just one was a little more edgier than the other because one's a shonen and one's a seinen. But to act
no. When has Luffy gone and destroyed an entire city? Never. Like, he's every time there's been a city that's been involved, usually it's ran by a pirate that is hostily taking over the area, and he's taking it back because they were terrorists, that decided to attack a kingdom and take it over by force because they were an outside terroristic force, and Luffy just shows up and fucking's like, oh, cool, a pirate to fight. I'm gonna punch him in the fucking nuts. It feels like he doesn't like One Piece that much. And I mean, he might be a huge fan. I might be wrong, but I just, like, one's actual terrorism and the other is just like reactionary almost.
Act like you can't see the direct parallels between them is crazy. I guess to wrap it up, the other one I would say that would probably come to most people's minds is that DBZ and Dragon Ball as a whole, to act as though certain things just don't make sense when you're looking at them, even in the context of Dragon Ball. I want you to think about this, because it's probably something that is immediately coming to your mind. Goku in Super Saiyan Blue was fighting Krillin in Super, and it seemed like it was a standstill or an even match. We all know there's no way Krillin should be anywhere near, I would say, even base Goku. Super Saiyan Blue?
Dude, this is how you watch Dragon Ball Z. You turn your fucking brain off and watch Dragon Ball Z. I'm serious, dude. Dragon Ball Z is just the most nonsensical bullshit all the time. Like, constant nonsensical bullshit. But you watch it because it's iconic. It kind of laid the groundwork for what Shonen would become. And it's fun. It's fun. It's like popcorn flick shit. It's not that deep. That's the way I look at Dragon Ball. And I'm never going to get into the discourse of like, oh, there's plot holes in Dragon Ball. Yes, there's tons of plot holes. There's tons of fucking nonsense that happens in Dragon Ball. But it's Dragon Ball. It's not supposed to be your grand thing. It's just supposed to be fights of the week type shit. And that's how I've always looked at Dragon Ball.
Goku, though? And it was holding his own?
Like, if you want to talk about like bad main characters, fucking... Goku cares more about getting in fights than he does raising his own children. Dude's the worst father in all of comic books. All of comic books ever. Dude's like, I'm gonna go get in a fight, and then I'm gonna die and spend 47 years in heaven, even though they could, like, we can make it so that they can wish me back to life. No, I'm happy to live in heaven and not do my fatherly duties. Like, if we're actually going to look at it with a critical lens, Goku is the world's worst fucking father.
Come on. And, like, we should be able to say, that's a writing flaw, or that's a problem, but, you know, maybe some people just don't have eyes. Hey, put down in the comments any kind of shows, manga, or moments within those that you saw something plain as day, and when you brought this up, people acted like you were crazy.
The biggest writing flaw in entire history is the entirety of Naruto. That's the biggest writing flaw in all of history, and I'm gonna comment that. I think I misspelled Naruto. I don't even know how to spell that little fucking douchebag's name. There we go, dude. That is the biggest flaw in all of anime right there. Is just Naruto. It's just so bad. I fucking hate Naruto. The whole thing's garbage. I actually kind of agree with a lot of this video, and I think there's a lot of people who just want to defend their favorite shit all the time, and I kind of did it for One Piece. I mean, it's more of a fun thought experiment. And it's something I say all the time when I'm reacting to drama or some of this other shit that I do on the channel. Poopy. It's stuff that I do on the channel where I talk about the woke stuff, or I talk about mainly it's the woke stuff, is where I purposely, even though I agree with a lot of the sentiment of like get this DEI stuff out of video games, I still sit at the premise that I think that as a I want to try to see both sides. I want to try to look at all the critiques of the movement. I want to look at all the critiques for the movement, and I want to make my own informed decision. And I think that almost anything, like if you really like something, and like let's say Halo. Halo's one of my favorite things of all time, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like a lot of Halo fans will, that the story when Bungie was doing it was perfect. It was perfect, and then when 343 took over, they lost the plot, right? No. Fuck no. Not even a little bit. Dude, even the creators will say that they fucking retconned shit for Halo 2. There was a ton of plot holes. They just kind of did shit. That's just kind of what they did. They were like, oh yeah, we were like, fuck, we got ourselves in a corner here. The corner doesn't exist. The corner doesn't exist. Go fucking right by it. And I will fully admit that, and I know that even with knowing that, Halo 2 is still my favorite, actually still is my favorite game of all time. Bad choice. I fucking love Halo 2. It was my first game that I fell in love with, that I truly was like, this is the game that makes me love gaming. So it puts a high bar there nostalgically, and it for me, where it's like it's a bar that can never be beat because I have so many memories with it, with friends and family, and moving on. But I do like to critically look at things that even I enjoy and think, okay, are these good critiques, or are these malicious critiques? And then I will look into it. I will do some research against and for, and then I will find and make my own opinion. And I think everybody should do that, and it's even more important to do with the things you love. Don't be a fanboy. Don't be a fucking fanboy. Look into things, make your own informed decisions at the end of the day. But with that, guys, I hope you like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Alright, this is a gentleman we've had on the channel before. I got a little bit long-winded in the last one, I think, because I just kept shitting on Naruto. But yeah, this is the first time we've seen this guy on the channel. This is the old weeb. He is old, he is weeby, and we are going to get into the anime gatekeepers are right. And I might have a lot of opinions on this because I'm kind of against gatekeeping a lot of times, but also for it. I can be a hypocrite when it comes to my own gatekeeping thoughts and mentality about it. Like Halo, I think that yes, the TV show appealed to a lot of different people, and a lot of people who never played the game liked it. And it's like, yeah, it's bringing more people into Halo, but I still hate the show, and I wish that they would have stayed to the source material, and I want to gatekeep it because I love it. But then other times I do appreciate that it brings new people and more people to the thing that I love, so they get to experience the thing I love. So I kind of am constantly having an internal argument about this. It's something that I think I will never fully say I'm for gatekeeping, but I'll never fully say I'm against. But let's get right into it.
What's going on, guys? It's the old weeb, and talking today about another, I would say, controversial topic, and it's the idea about what is called gatekeeping. I'm sure you've part of any fandom, and especially sometimes if you've been, the opposite sex, that you've been kind of confronted with people who would tell you that you don't belong in this fandom because you don't know certain things, or you haven't been through certain things, so you don't have the true appreciation for what this idea is. And I'm here to say they're not all wrong. Some are base, some are cringe. Let's get into it.
I am going to skip his intro because it's long and I don't want to deal with it. And to be honest, I do find it cringe when somebody's like, "You're not even a real gamer. Have you even played Schmiggle Miggle Nutsack 5? You're not even a real gamer if you don't like turn-based games. You're not." I hate that shit, dude. You're not even a real anime fan if you didn't like Naruto. This guy sucks. Just go burn. I don't like him. But it's one of those things where it's like, oh, well, you're not a real this because of this, and it's like, dude, come on. Come on, dude. You're a gamer if you play Call of Duty. You're a gamer if you have like 1,000 hours in Candy Crush, in my opinion. You're a gamer. You're just not the type of gamer that some people want you to be. Some of this gatekeeping stuff is cringe.
Now, you might be wondering, what the heck am I talking about when I say that gatekeeping is valid? It's the fact that I think gatekeeping is done in a way that kind of beguiles the point, but also doesn't address the underlying issue. And it's that people who tend to gatekeep are people who feel like they have been mistreated for being part of something first. The biggest culprits for gatekeeping tend to be nerd cultures and nerd fandoms like anime, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, even sports sometimes. And the idea is that people who are really into these kind of things had a certain kind of...
And it's not sports sometimes, it's sports all the time, by the way. You know how often you'll hear somebody that's like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking 49ers fan, and they're like, oh yeah, who's their fucking right lineman? And you're like, I don't know, dude. I know the quarterback's this guy, and they're like, no. But who's the strong safety? If you don't know the strong safety, you're not a real fan. You have to know the entire roster. Sports fans are bigger nerds than the nerd culture guys are. Any day of the fucking week, they are the supreme fucking nerds. They can tell you different, I know so many got friends like that are like big sports guys that don't watch anime or fucking play video games, but they will look at you. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't really watch anymore, but they're like, oh, who's their fucking best receiver? Well, how many yards did he get? Oh, you're not even a real fan, dude. And it's like, bro, you know the specs of all your fucking players, dog? You're a nerd, dude. You're a fucking nerd, my boy. You're a fucking dweeb, douchebag, just like me. We're all losers. We're all fucking geeks, and we're all fucking losers, dude. We find these little fucking loser things to occupy our time and our side lives, and we have fun with them. That's what life's about, baby. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that sports fans are bigger nerds than just about anybody out there.
Character created about them from others who are on the outside looking in, and some people who made judgments. This is a fact. People would judge anime fans, video games, like etc. back in the old days, and it wasn't really until things became more mainstream that people actually gave things a chance and realized whether they like it or not, or whether or not they were wrong. And once they kind of do, and they join the community, for people who they may have wronged in the past, they have a type of way they feel about it and say, no, you can't be part of this. No, you don't deserve it. Or no, you're not a real fan because of this, that, and the third. And that's a legit place to come from, where you feel like you've been wronged by certain people and now they're a fan of something that you just get made fun of. That's a valid feeling. And then what tends to happen wrong is that the way of gatekeeping is kind of then misconstrued, and it's more of not gatekeeping, but more of a defense mechanism. Like in relation to, I would say, anime gatekeeping, I think, needed to be a thing for the time of where it was at. And to this day, I would say we have lost some level of quality through the gates being torn down. And that's because with anime becoming as mainstream, as popular as it is, we're getting more and more and more anime to watch and consume, which makes our watch lists grow more and more and more, which is really hard to keep up. But I would also say the overall quality of shows has dropped to an all-time.
I would disagree with this. I would disagree with this so hard. I think we're getting better quality shows every fucking day. Like, I think yeah, it came out in 2019. This is one of the best anime I've ever seen. This is hands down one of the best anime I have ever seen right here. This shit is so fucking good, and this is like, and also Demon Slayer. I think I think the characters have gotten better than your traditional shonen. I think everything's gotten better in regards to character structure. I mean, look at the fact that Dandadan came out as a shonen anime, and it did more things for character development and romance in a, like, it actually had good romance in a shonen. You know how crazy that is to me? Where it's not just like, it's not just the same fucking, oh, well, Bulma has a baby now, like, type shit. Or, oh, look, fucking so-and-so got married and we didn't talk about it because it just fucking happened. We're actually getting good character structure. Now, that's not to say that there wasn't things like Cowboy Bebop and all these other ones back in the day. There definitely was, but I'm talking some of the more popular genres are trying to induce things like your more niche stuff from back in the day, your more serious, more drama-based stuff. They're trying to incorporate that into shonen, and I think that's been way for the better. I mean, there's no fucking realm of possibility that you're going to look at me and tell me that the writing is better in Dragon Ball Z than it is Demon Slayer. I'm sorry. I love Dragon Ball Z. I think it's fantastic, but get the fuck out of here.
Oh. Like, when it comes to studios producing certain shows and greenlighting ideas, you could say, wait, no, there's plenty of out there shows like Odd Taxi. There's things like Ranking of Kings, which I believe is a webtoon. I could be wrong. As well as a few other out there shows that maybe never would have gotten a chance to.
Mob Psycho. I don't think Mob Psycho would have hit a normal, because Mob Psycho has a lot of slice of life features. Or Mob 100, my apologies. But Mob 100, I don't think in its art style, everything about it is very, I don't think it would have done well in an older demographic back in like the 90s or 2000s. I don't think it would have done very well. But I have to say that Mob 100 is probably one of my favorite animes I've ever watched. Easily. It's easily in my top 10. It is incredible. I fucking love Mob 100. And I think that what it was able to do is thanks to the modern era we live in.
Become an anime had things not become more profitable for the anime community. But I want to take a step back and like truly evaluate this current state of the anime community, not the fans. Fans is a different part of this video, but when it comes to the overall quality of show writing, character design, detailed backgrounds, more of the like meat and potatoes of animation that we really care about as people who've watched the medium for over like 10 plus years. And I could say from rewatching some 2000s anime, the animation quality, even though the technology was not as strong, is overall better. Like, there's a lot more detail put into the design of the characters, the backgrounds, the shadows, the shading, the buildings. Like, there's times you see in some animes nowadays, they're literally just blobs of like white avatars in the background of certain characters because they're not important, and you know, studios are on crunch times, they got budgets, all these things that lead to characters kind of just losing out on potential.
The difference is the fights now are much better. Okay, so so they would spend more time on more frames than the older stuff is what I've noticed, because I've been watching a good mix of old and new lately. The recent one that I've been watching is Hakiro no Go. I really like that anime. I really like it. But I've noticed, well, that was not a very action-focused anime to begin with, but like even when I've looked at the two Digimons, right? Because I kind of wanted to get into Digimon. I don't think I'm going to. But I watched the old one and then I watched the new one. You have a lot more frames that like move. Right, you have a lot more like focus frames, but it seems like when the action's happening, they're still, it's almost like they're running in place, they're moving in place. The big moments aren't as big as you get with the more focused anime, like the more battle focused stuff that we get now, where the fights are way over the top, way crazier, way fucking insane. Content ID claims. I don't know what's going on right now. I gotta claim. Anyways, I'm gonna move past it. I'm just gonna hit play, but I just got a copy claim. I don't know what's going on.
Shine, and also the fact that they don't have to fill in gaps in the show. Like, we have literal animes where characters just straight up are like Cyborg's cutouts. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck does that have to do with gatekeeping? And I think it's because the anime community was a lot more, I think, appreciative and liked what we were watching maybe because we didn't know any better, but at the same time, I feel like we needed to enjoy what we had, and therefore we had a greater appreciation for the animation of its time, and which I would say the golden age of anime was between the year 1996 to 2012 was the golden years when you have the.
I would disagree. I think we're living in a fucking peak era right now. We have One Punch Man out there. I know season 3 is coming out, or like soon, hopefully. We got I think like if you look at like its contemporary comparison, I like Fire Force so much better than I like Soul Eater. I could not get into Soul Eater. I just don't know what it is about it. I can't get into Soul Eater. Fire Force, on the other hand, absolutely in love with it. I know a lot of people like to poo-poo on My Hero Academia. I like My Hero Academia a lot. I think it's very entertaining. I think it's really engaging. I think that the main character has grown a lot. He's grown, I think, in the right way compared to like Naruto, where he's kind of, I would say there's a huge comparison to be made between the main character of Naruto and the main character of My Hero Academia. But the character of My Hero Academia, I think, actually gets down to business. He actually is there to take butts and kick clits. You know what I mean? But I look at like some of the more modern stuff. Demon Slayer's fucking amazing. Chainsaw Man, awesome. Dororo is one of the best things I've ever seen. There is some like incredible stuff coming out day after day after day, and it's just like I'm looking at it as like, dude, we're eating so good right now, and it felt like I look at some of the old stuff and it was like so hit or miss. You would have some like really great stuff, don't get me wrong, but I just see there is so much good that's been happening in like the last 5 years for anime, or 5 to 10 years, that it's been insanely good. Now, I know that there's some peak that I missed out on in the 90s and 2000s that eventually I will get to. I want to watch Angel Cop. I want to watch Blue Lagoon. I'm trying to think. There's like a list of like darker animes that I wanted to watch. You'll have to let me know a bunch of like edgy animes down in the comments. I need to watch Hellsing Ultimate. Well, Hellsing Ultimate, I hear, is the best way to watch Hellsing, so that came out more recently. I mean, you just see like, and there is examples of where studios will cut corners and do bullshit. Like, look for example, the Berserk 2016 Berserk. Oh, gross. And I think that there needs to be, like, that's where I'd be okay with gatekeeping, right? That's, like, okay, we don't want CG in our anime, so we're not going to watch it. We're as a fandom, as a community, we are saying no to this. Bad CG needs to get the fuck out of here. Now, I think if you can figure out a way to make CG work and make it look really, really good, do it, but I'm sorry, the shit that's coming out this CG right now just ain't it, Chief. It just ain't fucking it. And if you think that I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm so hungry for Berserk content, I'm gonna fucking finish Berserk 2016, you're fucking wrong, dude. There's nothing that will get me to finish that bullshit. It is so bad. It's not just the animation. There's a lot of story problems with Berserk 2016 too, where it goes a different direction than the manga, and or it just like leaves plot holes and shit compared to where the manga doesn't. And I haven't even read a ton of the manga, but what I've read, the anime does wrong. So there's a lot of wrong things in the Berserk 2016 manga, or in the anime. But the fact that on top of the things that it does wrong, it's also hard to fucking watch because the animation is so bad. That's where I'm for gatekeeping. But so far with him, I'm not 100% on his argument.
Big three, you have Rave Master, you have, Spiral, you have Gurren Lagann, Code Geass, Death Note. The list could literally go on for like another hour of how many great animes came out during that decade and a half. But one of the byproducts of that was that we gave anime more of a chance.
I need to finish Roshi Kenshin. The reason I'm kind of like about it is what I found out about the writer. Now, I've always been a firm believer that you separate from the art from the artist. There's something weird about watching Roshi Kenshin when I know that it went after kids, dude. There's just something weird about that.
We also gave anime more of a, that's anime. We didn't really have the kind of vocalization that comes with today's anime fans. And let's get into that. I want to say about classifying today's anime fans as anyone who's become a fan of anime in the last 10 years. So around 2014, 2015 till now. They're different. And they are different in a way where they feel a lot more entitled than anything else. the way we have them kind of like bullying and harassing voice actors and designers and the authors, the studios, etc.
Again, I think this is more because of the age of the internet than because now here's what happened, right? This is what the internet did, and a lot of people don't understand how like these different groups got so big, why like like you look at fucking 20 years ago, right? Some dude likes to come home, put a diaper on, and shit his pants, right? That dude would know that if you went to the office the next day, be like, yo, dude, you been shitting in your pants? You been wearing your Depends lately, dog? Dab it up, my dude. He would not get a dab up. He would not get a dab up. Simple, because it's fucking weird, and he knew that it was weird, so he didn't do it. Like, he didn't talk about it, he didn't do it. Well, then the internet comes along. Well, there's whole ass communities. He found it on Reddit, he found it on 4chan, he found it on No-chan, he found it on Schmiggle-Biggle-Boo, and he found out that there's other people that like diaper maxing. So now he's a diaper maxing king. He's got all his friends. They've put up a convention. Now they've kind of made themselves into this little circle jerk, and then they start getting vocal about it. That's just how the shit fucking hits the fan, bro. That's how it works. It's more what the internet has done. I mean, we see it with video games, both like the people that are mad that there's not like enough women, and there's the people that are mad that there's too many women or whatever, and then there's people like the people get mad because they have a place to shout from, and then they have a place that where they shout from, more people will join them in that shouting. That's just the reality of the internet more than anything else. And another big aspect of all of this is we have, especially in the US, we've had a lot, and even in like Mexico and stuff, because I know Mexico has a huge anime population, or fan population. We had people that grew up with some of the with Fox Kids, like, and blasting Dragon Ball Z constantly, or maybe Fox wasn't Dragon Ball Z, but we had Dragon Ball Z constantly. We had Naruto, we had Yu-Gi-Oh, we had Pokemon, we had Digimon, we had all of this shit just being funneled right into our brains as kids, because it was the best shit to watch when we were growing up. And when you have so much stuff just getting like filtered your way, and you grow up with it, and now you're seeing that it's just a blossoming, exploding industry, you're like, fuck yeah, my dude. Fuck yeah, I'm like, I grew up with this shit. I've been watching since day one. All these new motherfuckers don't understand. I've been here since the fucking grime, but the difference is, like, if you're older, you like came into it naturally, and like, I think is what he's saying, and then like these other people are just co-opting it and making it their own thing. But I see it as like everybody grew up with it, and there's just some people that didn't like get like regular established lives, and then also like anime, and they're like, yo, why the fuck are you guys like overly obsessed with this to the point that you're ruining my shit? I think that's the argument he's making, but at the same time, like, that's the world we live in. That's what the internet has done.
Not even considering the conditions some of these studios are facing with the lack of pay, the lack of respect, and the inability to even go home. But they're so entitled with the constant access to these waves and waves of anime that if something isn't doing some their particular liking, but they have a great connection to the show for any variety of reasons, positive, negative, shipping, etc., they get all their feelings hurt, and they start, just raging out online because they don't understand boundaries or the fact that they should appreciate the fact that they have way more options than we had. The fact of the matter is that I would say that one of my biggest pet peeves in the anime community, and I hold this to this day, is people who complain about art style. They say they can't watch a show because of its art style. And I'm over here who's watched shows at 144p, 360 on YouTube in 3 different parts with various degrees of buffering, acting like art style's not that important. Now, for some people, if art is like their biggest bugaboo, I don't know how much anime you're gonna really watch, because there's some shows that are just out there. But their stories are the most important, and I think we need to harp on that. And the thing is, though, people would say, that's kind of a weird take to have, or you shouldn't be judging those people for their preferences. And it's like, yes, I can. It's part of my job as a fan of the media to tell people that the point of watching the story is to not only look at good animation, but also to connect to the characters and enjoy the story through whatever media. I've watched some of the wildest animations of Fooly Cooly, Bobo 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 Bobo, Excel Saga, Panty and Stocking, Ruby, the list goes on. But you know what I do? I enjoyed the heck out of both the characters, the stories, and sometimes the voice actors because, you know, at a certain point in time, we have kind of had a monopoly on voice actors, and I think that's more due to how hard it is to get in the industry, but also what happened with 2016. We're not going to go into that. But in relation to the rest of it, yeah, we're allowed to have the opinion, and yeah, we're allowed, I would say, to judge someone who we think is, you know, misunderstanding what the medium represents. Now, if you're on this whole knowledge that all gatekeeping is bad, I don't know why you're here. But the point being is that gatekeeping in itself is not always inherently malicious. It is done in a way to protect what they think is going to be harmed when the mainstream gets its hands on it. Because, like I said, the overall quality of anime has gone way, way down. And, like, say superheroes, like, I'm not going to get into that to a different.
I mean, I feel like the superheroes is a much different argument because like the quality has gone down, but that's more like the writing and everything. You have like the fact that there's really a different focus on manga in Japan and then superheroes in the US. So I think that's a kind of a bad argument because like superheroes come from like two main places here in the US. You have DC and Marvel. Now there is others, there's Dark Horse, there's Image, there's other ones, but the main two are DC and Marvel. And the problem is they've been running the same characters for like the last 60 years and there's nothing we can do about it. They're just going to keep doing the same shit forever, right? So that is a massive issue that we've ran into, and I just like that's the problem with like compared to manga, where manga is coming out with new shit all the time, and if you don't like this current shit, it's not like they're gonna run that same character for the next 47 years unless it's Naruto. Naruto just can't seem to fucking die. But you look at like the other, like there's just so many other characters. Like if you don't like Naruto, you got One Piece, you got My Hero, you got Demon Slayer, you got 8,000 other shows that you can watch. With superheroes, it's like if you don't like Batman and Superman, I guess you got Spider-Man, you know, and it's like there's not like a ton of options out there. And I think that that's really different. And like we also have like to look at the geopolitical situations that we have here in the US compared to the ones in Japan. Now, like a lot of people like anime because it's like, oh, it's not political, when it is. It's just we don't know the political inherent politicality of it because of the fact that we're not from Japan. Now, you might disagree with me on that, but I'm not gonna say fucking put my head out on the line and say, oh, it's all anti-political, when that's just not true, because I don't understand the inner workings of Japan's political process. I don't know what their big movements are that are going on in that country. You can look. I can make a statement on this because you can look at something like Zom 100. Zom 100 is a great look at kind of a FU to the working conditions in Japan. That you would rather a zombie apocalypse happen than work in the fucking than work in any of the industries in Japan because of how awful the working conditions are. That is a great example of how they do have political messages in their shit. So the fact like that's something I have seen as an argument. Another thing I don't, it seems more like, and I like this guy. I think he does make good videos. I think that he's more conflating that because we haven't gatekeeped enough that the animation or anything's gotten worse. But I think in a lot of aspects, animation has gotten so much better. Now, I will say that he is kind of right with some of these bigger shows that came out back in the day. But if you look at some of the mid ones, it was fucking awful, dude. There is some really bad animation from this time period. And the reason why you only see the good shit is it's because it's the shit that survived, right? It's the shit that was good enough to care about. But the one-offs and two-offs and the shit that hit, like a lot of it didn't make it because it's not good animation and nobody gives a fuck about it to make it survive, right? Because I'm sure that there was a lot of different studios doing a lot of different shit in the 90s that didn't make it to today.
Different video, but people might say, you know, the MC,
or they weren't even good enough to get dubbed, or not dubbed, get subtitles to be released out of Japan. They were so bad. So we're seeing a mass like giant flood, a tsunami of anime coming in now. But during this time, it was only the shit that they knew that could have a broad mass appeal. that they would make it over to the States, and I'm sure that there was way more at that time period that just didn't fucking hit. And also you have to look at the fact that I think characters have gotten better. I think story beats have gotten better. It's not just that CN is now made, well, CN actually is where the story is, because it's marketed toward adults, and adults don't have, like, they don't just want to see a fight every 2 seconds. Now they're incorporating elements from CN into, if you want to look at CN as a genre instead of just as a magazine, is what it was. But now they're incorporating it where the lines are blurred, where it's like you can watch something like Demon Slayer, which has like big meaning, big moments, is really dark for a shonen anime, but it's still a shonen, right? At the end of the day, it's same thing with like Dandadan. Dandadan has some more mature fucking story beats. Has more mature story beats, but it's hitting the kind of storytelling and the kind of like strife that you would see in like a romance manga or like a more of a CN manga, because it's like we can do storytelling better. So I think that a lot of the industry is going from like, oh, we just need cool fights and cool shit to happen, to look, we're gonna create great characters, and this is gonna create us a show forever.
You did a great thing for the superhero genre at the time, but now it's kind of fading away and kind of making it worse off for wear. There's definitely still some great heroes and stories. Like, I need to check out X-Men 97. Hopefully it's gonna be as good as the X-Men I used to watch. But there's still, that hardcore fan base. But when you get to the mainstream and you have less of a barrier to entry into a fandom or a group of demographic people, you're going to run into more people having opinions, and it leading to more toxicity than there already was. And don't get me wrong, the anime community has been toxic for generations, but it doesn't change the fact that with new people coming in who don't appreciate the medium as we did, because we appreciate what we had, what we could get our hands on, because finding anime before Crunchyroll and Funimation were a thing was a challenge. We're allowed to tell these people, you don't know like we do, you don't appreciate like we do, because were spoiled. And it might seem like I'm coming harsh on down new anime fans and the anime community, and I was saying, no, I'm not. I'm probably echoing the sentiments of a lot of anime fans. And I remember a buddy of mine said something to me last week where you could say something is true, but you're giving credence to people who make bad faith arguments, who just want to be either racist, misogynistic, creepy, etc., or they want to feel a sense of empowerment and entitlement because they happen to be there first. And I think you can't say something is wrong if it's true just because it comes from the words of someone you don't want to agree with. Because at the end of the day, an argument is not the same as a person. An argument is just a series of words, and usually logical points, facts, citations, etc., that help prove a premise. And I do believe that there's a place for the idea of gatekeeping, because you don't want something to be diluted. You don't want to lose what makes it feel special, or you don't want to lose what makes it enjoyable in the first place. So we're going to be signing off here now with this kind of thought experiment. I want you to think about this. What do you really think the anime community would be like if it wasn't as mainstream? Do you think certain characters would still resonate and be as beloved with the community, I guess not as big? Or do you think that this was always an inevitability?
This was always an inevitability. It was always an inevitability. I mean, the only way that this wouldn't have been an inevitability was if the American market for entertainment wouldn't have crashed so bad in its quality of writing. I mean, because here's the thing: it's not about the fact that America's like writing is woke or whatever. It's about the fact that you're hiring a bunch of untalented writers to create and be the showrunners of these shows, and nobody wants to watch that shit, right? It's doing worse than ever before. We're seeing it in the movie industry, we're seeing it in the TV show industry, and we're seeing an uptick in this because it's taking more time to craft better plots and better characters. Now, there is a lot of mid that's mixed in there throughout all of it, but I also think that we're getting some of the best fights, the best characters, the best storytelling that we've ever gotten before. Now, in terms of like some of the details and some of the stuff and some of the slower moments, I will agree with him. I think that some of those slower moments in the older stories had better artwork and better background design, but it was because of the fact that they had to focus on that more. They focused on that more because doing the action stuff was way too advanced and way too costly for them to be able to do that. So they wanted to put more focus on the slower moments, on the character moments. That was like, oh, we're gonna do a cityscape here while they're talking, and we just draw this really big cityscape, and then we just fucking have it funnel across the screen, and you get a longer, bigger view of it, and they put in the detail there. Yeah, that's like, obviously they did that because they were trying to save money on like some of the other shit that they didn't want to spend too much on the fights. I think that some of his points, though, at the end of the day do hit, and some don't. I definitely still disagree with. I feel like this ended up being like more of a comparison, and I don't feel like he hit the hard argument that I would say is like, yes, gatekeeping is right. This is exactly what we need. I mean, I don't feel like it really hit there because at the end of the day, I just don't see this shit actually having too much effect on the Japanese world. We've seen it where they've attacked some of these creators before, and the voice actors like been annoying in the US, where they've like, there was a drama, I think, with Dandadan where one of the voice actors made one of the main characters like a different race or something. I don't really know all the ins and outs there, but we have seen where there's been battles between localizers in the US and Japan where they're like, why did you change this? Oh, well, we wanted to do it for cultural reasons. Japan's like, okay, whatever, and then they get heat for it. And I think that stuff's all cringe, and you shouldn't be doing that to begin with. But at the same time, I can understand why people in the industry are like, dude, why the fuck are you localizing our shit bad? Why the fuck don't you care? That's where I would be for gatekeeping, is where they come in to somebody else's artwork, right? Somebody else's fucking intellectual property, and they're like, well, I don't like it because it's problematic, and then they change it for their own selfish reasons with localization. That's where I have a problem, right? That's where I will say gatekeeping's right, because I will stand on the premise that you shouldn't change somebody else's art just because you don't agree with it. It's like if I got an editor for this channel, and because I said some spicy shit that he didn't agree with, he cuts it out of the video, I would then fire that fucking editor, because it is not his job to say or choose what goes and what doesn't go on my channel, right? And that's where I would say gatekeeping makes sense. Is it's like, I want to protect I'm protecting my intellectual property. I'm protecting the fans' characters, the fans' story, because I don't want your bullshit that you had no part in creating this, but you came in and said it needs to be this way. That's where I'm for gatekeeping. When you come in and say, I would like it better, and if this character was this way, and I'm going to get a bunch of group, we're going to petition the writers, say that the way the character is now is this, that, or the other buzzword, and we want it changed. And then the creator takes a knee to those fucking idiots and changes it to appease them. That's where I'm okay with gatekeeping being like, no, shut the fuck up, get the fuck out of here. But the problem is, you also have people that are the gatekeepers that are mad when changes do happen that are organic, right? So it can go both ways, and that's where I think some of this argument falls apart. But I do think it is a fun thought study. I think it is a fun thought experiment on the idea of gatekeeping. I think that his video was short, sweet, got to the point, and I really enjoyed the whole thing. But that's all I got for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right. We got a couple of different things. I'm gonna move my reaction flow in a different direction here. We are gonna start with can Omni-Man survive can Omni-Man survive the deadliest horror monsters? This was an exciting thumbnail for me. Like, we're gonna go to I'm gonna pull this guy's channel up in a new tab so we can look at his thumbnail. Look at this fucking thumbnail, dude. Like, it is so good. It's got Omni-Man covered in blood. It's got it behind him, the Terrorizer. And I said, I have to watch this. I have to watch this. It's done. This is done by Chapaka Cabro. I can't pronounce that. But I am so interested in this. I don't have an intro. I just want to get into it.
What happens when the most powerful villain from Invincible faces off against horror's deadliest monsters? Omni-Man has conquered planets, but there's one creature on this list that would make even him tremble. By the end of this video, you'll know which horror monster could actually kill the unstoppable Viltrumite. My dog wanted to say hi for this video, so for every single person that likes this video and subscribes, I'll give him a boop on the head. Thank you. Let's kick things.
Dude, so many people like that he just beats his dog to death. That'd be that'd be wild, bro. I'm not condoning violence against animals, but that was just my first thought, because that's 14,000 or 13,000. For some reason, when I clicked like, I thought it was gonna jump up to 14,000 likes. That's 13,000 likes of just like, and the pooch's head's just fucking concaved. It looks like a meme.
Off with everyone's favorite supernatural murder clown. No, not Pennywise. We'll get to him later. I'm talking about Art the Clown, the black and white nightmare fuel from the Terrifier franchise. If you haven't seen these movies yet, maybe don't watch them alone or while eating. Trust me, your stomach will thank me later. Art isn't your typical birthday party clown who makes balloon animals, unless those animals are made from your intestines. This demonic entity has a habit of coming back from the dead, torturing his victims in the most creative ways possible, and often turning their bodies into his own twisted art projects. In Terrifier 3, we learn he's
Sounds like me every weekend, baby.
collecting souls for Satan. Because why have a subtle backstory when you can go full, I'm working for the actual devil? Now let's compare these two psychopaths. On one hand, we have Art with his supernatural strength, regenerative abilities, and apparent immortality. Shoot him, stab him, even blow his brains out. He'll just come back for more. Plus, he's got that creepy silent mime thing going on, which honestly would probably just annoy Omni-Man. On the other hand, we have Nolan Grayson, a Viltrumite warrior with thousands of years of experience, who can punch through mountains, fly faster than sound, and literally destroy an entire civilization while having a father-son chat. You know, typical dad stuff. His weakness? Apparently having a tiny sliver of conscience buried beneath all that muscle and mustache. Imagine this. Art is doing his usual terrifying routine in an abandoned carnival. He's just finished turning some teenager into a human jigsaw puzzle when he spots a mustachioed man floating above him, arms crossed, looking thoroughly unimpressed. Art does his signature head tilt, maybe throws a knife that Omni-Man doesn't even bother dodging. Is that supposed to be scary? Omni-Man would probably ask, catching the knife between his fingers. I've stepped on more threatening insects. The outcome, let's be real, Art would be turned into a red smear faster than you can say Viltrumite superior.
Yeah, no, facts. I mean, even if he regens, dude, Omni-Man could literally just like lock him in a giant metal sarcophagus and just beat him for fun every weekend, dude. He's like, this week was a tough day at work. I'm gonna go down to the basement, honey. I got some fun shit down there. And she's thinking, oh, maybe sex dungeon. No, it's just a fucking clown that he turns into red splatters once a week.
Priority. Omni-Man wouldn't even break a sweat. He'd probably just fly through Art at supersonic speed, atomizing him on impact. And while yes, Art does have that whole resurrection thing going for him, Omni-Man could just like, I don't know, throw him into the sun. Good luck regenerating from that, clown boy. But here's the kicker though. Art's true power isn't his physical strength, it's psychological terror. And that's where he would completely fail against Omni-Man. The Viltrumite has seen civilizations rise and fall, has participated in the culling of his own people, and has committed genocide multiple times. It's basically a hobby for him at this point. A creepy clown with a knife? That's a Tuesday for him. So while Art might give us humans nightmares for weeks, to Omni-Man, he'd be nothing more than a mildly annoying pest that needs to be squashed. Sorry, Art fans, your favorite killer clown just isn't in the same weight class as a planet-destroying alien warrior. Better luck with your next victim. But if Art the Clown is the appetizer in this horror buffet, Pennywise is the main course, because while Art might want your body for his art projects, Pennywise wants something much more valuable, your fear. And even Viltrumites feel fear, don't they? Because we're floating into the sewers of Derry, Maine, home to everyone's favorite dancing clown, Pennywise. And he isn't just any horror villain. He's actually a cosmic entity older than our universe, who decided his best disguise would be a clown. Because apparently in the cosmic
I actually really love It the Clown. That was I actually have It socks, right? This is a fun thing. I'm gonna skip this ad, but I'm gonna hit pause real quick because I want to talk to you about my Pennywise socks, because my Pennywise socks are freaking fire. Here's the thing: I own both the remake Pennywise socks, and I own the original '90s Pennywise socks, and I wear them mismatched. So you have a bit of the future, a bit of the old. Because I loved what both actors did with Pennywise. You have, hey, Georgie, you want a balloon? And then you have, hey, Georgie, you want a balloon? You have the Brooklyn, grimy, oh, they all swim down here. They all swim down here. I like the fact that they went in completely opposite directions with the character. It was one of the first horror movies that my wife watched and liked with me, that we actually went to the theaters and watched it too, which she was kind of scared to go to. And I told her right away, I was like, babe, dude, they're adults now. And even the second part of the book gets kind of stale when they become adults, because you're looking at it from the perspective of an adult compared to looking at it as a perspective of a kid. So you have two different, very different experiences of horrors. You're not putting yourself in the feet of a child, or the pants, or the shoes of a child anymore. You're putting yourself in the shoes, pants, shirt of an adult, and you would have a different reaction. So it's just having different effects on your mind.
Book, terrifying children is right up there with consuming planets. Unlike Art, Pennywise doesn't just want to kill you. He wants to season you up first like a nice filet mignon. Fear is literally his salt and pepper, and he needs you absolutely terrified before he takes a bite. Think of him as like a Gordon Ramsay of interdimensional predators, except instead of yelling that you're an idiot sandwich, he becomes your worst nightmare before eating your soul. Pennywise's true form, the Deadlights, is supposedly so incomprehensible that merely glimpsing it drives humans insane. He's got reality warping powers, can shapeshift into literally anything, and has been feeding on the citizens of Derry for centuries. His only real weakness? Yeah, that's when people stop being afraid of him. And then he turns into something resembling a sad, deflated carnival attraction that can literally be bullied to death. And you thought your existential crises were bad. So how would this fear-feeding entity face against the mighty
Nothing. He would do nothing, because Omni-Man's not going to be afraid of a fucking cosmic clown. There's no way in hell that Omni-Man's going to look at him and he's like, You remember when there was a scary thing in your closet? And Omni-Man would just look at him with this fucking mustachioed face and be like, I'm gonna rip your fucking dick off. And he's like, but hey, Georgie, you remember when you punched your son? I'm still gonna rip your dick off. Oh. And then he would fucking deflate, and Omni-Man would sit there roasting him.
Dash of Viltrumite superiority. Let's break it down. Imagine Omni-Man flying over Derry, probably looking for somewhere to get a sandwich, because why not? Suddenly he notices a red balloon floating unnaturally against the wind. Curious, he follows it into a storm drain. Hiya, Nolan, comes a voice from below. Do you want your balloon back? They all float down here. You float too. Pennywise might try the direct approach first, maybe appearing as Debbie or Mark in peril or something creepy like that. But here's the problem. Omni-Man's greatest fears aren't really about losing his family. The man literally beat his son half to death while explaining how humans are basically pets to him. He's not exactly winning Father of the Year material. Perhaps Pennywise could dig deeper though, trying to maybe manifest as the Scourge virus that nearly wiped out all the Viltrumites, or maybe as Thrag, one of the few beings who could actually challenge Nolan. But even then, Pennywise's whole shtick depends on his victim being paralyzed by fear. And Omni-Man has spent thousands of years as a warrior. He doesn't just freeze up. He fights. The moment Pennywise realizes that his fear tactics won't work, he'd be in trouble. Because while a bunch of kids could defeat him by simply not being afraid, Omni-Man would take it a step further and introduce Pennywise's face to the center of the earth at Mach 10. Even if Pennywise revealed his true Deadlights form, Omni-Man being a Viltrumite would likely protect him from the mind-breaking effects that cripple humans. Sorry, but a being who can tank nukes probably isn't going to be overwhelmed by some cosmic light show. The verdict? Pennywise is going to get his ass kicked. The ancient cosmic entity who's
Absolutely. That was the thing about the thumbnail, is I knew both of them were going to get their fucking dicks ripped off and shoved in their ears so they couldn't hear the atrocities happening to their body. Let's be real, guys.
terrorizing a small Maine town for centuries would discover that there are scarier things in the universe than himself, like a mustachioed alien who views genocide as a Tuesday afternoon activity. Okay, so a shapeshifting fear clown is no match for Omni-Man, but what about something that doesn't just mimic your fears? What if it literally became you, cell by cell? The thing doesn't care how tough you are on the outside when it's busy becoming you from the inside out. Welcome to Antarctica, where the temperature drops faster than your motivation to go to the gym after New Year's is over. It's also home to our next contender, The Thing, an alien parasite that makes body snatchers look like amateur hour. If you haven't seen John Carpenter's 1982 masterpiece, why haven't you?
Greatest horror movie ever made. Hands down. Dude, The Thing is my favorite horror movie I've ever watched. There is nothing that has even came close. I mean, there's been stuff that I like a lot or is incredible, but John Carpenter's The Thing is it's just so good. There is not a bad scene in that film. Honestly, I love most John Carpenter movies, even some of the bad ones. I still enjoyed myself. I think that he is one of the greatest, or if not the greatest, creator of cinema out there, dude. He's so good. I love, even his action movie, Big Trouble in Little China is just such a fun fucking movie. Escape from New York, even Escape from LA, being as shit as it is a fun watch, especially if you know it's a bad movie going in. Like my dad, I remember I got Escape from New York and Escape from LA in like a 2-pack. My dad's like, the second one's awful. And I said, okay, I'm gonna watch it. No, it's awful. And it's awful, but it's hilarious. They're like surfing through sewers and shit. It's such a stupid movie, but it was so much fun. The main villain's beaten in a basketball game. It's retarded. It is an absolutely retarded movie, but knowing it's retarded going in makes it so much fun to point and laugh at that it then becomes a movie that's so bad it's good.
That's a big mistake you're making right now. The Thing is a shape-shifting organism that assimilates and perfectly replicates any living being it touches. And it's not just visually, we're talking down to the cellular level. It doesn't just wear your face, it becomes you, memories and all, then uses your body as a meat puppet to get close to its next victim. Sweet dreams. What makes The Thing truly terrifying isn't just what it does, but how it creates paranoia. In a small Antarctic research station, nobody knows who's human and who's secretly waiting to sprout tentacles.
There is one defense that I see Omni-Man having here, and I think Omni-Man just kills everybody on the space station. He murders everybody until the one person, and then he just, once he's obliterated everybody, then the last person left is the Thing, and the Thing then is him, and then he has to fight himself, and we'll see how that goes. That becomes a different sort of a dynamic, but in order for him to find the Thing, it's very easy. He just murders everyone.
Tentacles and spider legs when the coffee pot runs empty. It's only known weak.
Hardy's 2
And I know for a fact he's going to say that he's going to murder everybody. I just, like, if you think that he's going to fucking freak out even in the slightest because his fucking jabroni is now acting a little strange, no, he's not going to worry which one's the Thing. He's just going to go absolute giggity schmoodle mode on everybody's dicks.
But how it creates paranoia. In a small Antarctic research station, nobody knows who's human and who's secretly waiting to sprout tentacles and spider legs when the coffee pot runs empty. Its only known weakness? That's fire. Lots and lots of fire. So how would this copycat fare against our favorite planet destroyer? Let's imagine Omni-Man somehow crashes in Antarctica. I don't know, maybe he got bored on Earth and he wanted to go look at the penguins. I don't know. He stumbles upon an abandoned research station and finds a single survivor huddling in the corner. The survivor would beg him, please help me get out of here. And Omni-Man, not exactly known for his compassion, might consider leaving this human popsicle to their fate. But wait, that would be too easy for our story. Let's say he decides to investigate, maybe find some bizarre remains that look like failed taxidermy projects from someone who's only seen humans in blurry photographs. The Thing, sensing a new potential host, would make its move. Maybe it lunges at Omni-Man, trying to establish that critical cellular contact needed for assimilation. And here's where things get interesting. Could the Thing actually assimilate Viltrumite biology? Because Viltrumites aren't human. They're an alien species with incredibly dense molecular structures that can withstand the vacuum of space, tank nuclear explosions, and regenerate from massive injuries. Their cells are fundamentally different from anything the Thing encountered in that research station. And remember how the Thing struggled when it tried to assimilate the station's dog? That was just a different mammalian species. Trying to copy Viltrumite DNA would be like asking me to explain quantum physics. Theoretically possible, but probably just going to result in confused screaming and probably making babies cry. Even if the Thing managed to get a piece of Omni-Man, but like good luck with that, the man's skin can deflect bullets. The moment it tried to hijack his alien cellular structure, it would likely face rejection faster than I did asking out my high school crush. But let's be generous and say the Thing somehow overcomes these barriers and begins assimilation. The second that Omni-Man felt anything weird happening to his body, he'd do what Viltrumites do best: resort to overwhelming amounts of violence. He could fly into the sun to burn out the infection, or simply use his own innate ability to control his molecules, which is what lets the Viltrumites fly, to reject the invasion. The verdict? Unlike those poor researchers who had to resort to blood tests and flamethrowers, Omni-Man's alien physiology and overwhelming power would make him virtually assimilation proof. The Thing would just become another weird alien Omni-Man destroyed on his.
And I kind of agree with this, but if I was going to be like incredibly generous to the point where the Thing did it, I think it would be a fun fight, but I still think Omni-Man wins. I think Omni-Man pulls out just in the end because of the not quite being able to do it perfectly. Because even where he is able to assimilate, I don't think the Thing is able to assimilate perfectly. It showed that in the movie. To even normal people, it's not able to assimilate normally. So the fact that even if it gets close, it's still not perfect enough to win to the perfect, the original. And copy's always worse than the original, and that's what's going to be the deciding factor.
Lunch break. But if you thought a microscopic battle was intense, let's supersize this competition. The Cloverfield monster might not be able to copy you on a cellular level, but it can certainly step on you like an ant, and not in a good way.
No, it's fucking cooked. He's gonna take its dick, shove it up its own ass, and then rip it in half. Come on, the Cloverfield monster loses. The Cloverfield monster gets fucking bodied so fucking fast, it's obnoxious how fast this fucking giant bug pussy is going to get his ass fucking ripped through. I love Cloverfield, don't get me wrong, but come the fuck on. He's destroying. He's destroyed so many creatures like this. This is nothing.
Buildings are just chew toys. Does size finally give a horror monster the edge against Omni-Man? So the Cloverfield monster, or Clover, if you're on a first name basis with a city-destroying behemoth, is basically what happens when someone feeds a sea creature radioactive growth hormones and abandonment issues. Standing around 25 stories tall, which is roughly 300 feet for those of you who skipped math class, this massive alien infant stomps.
It's like fucking Omni-Man fighting Godzilla. Omni-Man wins. I think Godzilla's sick, don't get me wrong. I think this fucking thing's sick, but it's still just a radioactive giant monster compared to a literal fucking god. In comparison, he's like Superman. He's unbreakable. So this thing, he's just gonna fly through its fucking skull. It's gonna be over. He won't even like slow down. He'll just like on the way to get pizza, fly through its fucking head, get the pizza, and then let the wind dry and the rain dry off his fucking blood. It's not even a competition.
Through Manhattan like it's throwing the world's deadliest temper tantrum. And yes, you heard that right. Infant. According to the director, Matt Reeves, this mountain-sized nightmare is just a baby separated from its mommy. That doesn't make you feel better about your own childhood outbursts? Nothing will. Besides its Godzilla-shaming size, Clover comes equipped with thick armor-like skin that shrugs off military weaponry, enough strength to decapitate the Statue of Liberty, and those charming parasites that fall off its body and bite people's faces off. It's essentially a walking disaster movie with appendages. So how would this skyscraper-sized space toddler fare against a Viltrumite who punched through an entire planet? Let's play this out. Picture Omni-Man flying over New York, probably judging humanity as usual, when suddenly the ground shakes and buildings start collapsing. He spots.
Why is everybody putting up with ads like it's 2010? Like it's 2020.
I want you to stop talking to me, lady. No, this isn't a competition. I'm sorry, dude. I wouldn't even put this in the lineup. And if somebody would have commented, what about the Cloverfield monster? I would have been like, you're fucking retarded, dog. It's just a big bug. It's a big sea. It's sea semen, radioactive sea semen versus fucking Omni-Man. What are we talking about here? That's not even a fight. Get the fuck out of here.
Stomping through Times Square, swatting helicopters like flies and roaring loud enough to shatter windows. Your first instinct might be, finally, a monster big enough to challenge Omni-Man. And if you're thinking that, congratulations, you've fallen into the classic bigger must be better trap. Size can be deceiving. Remember when Omni-Man flew through that alien planet? The one with the crystalline mountains and civilizations? He flew through it. Not around it, through it. The impact destroyed the entire planet. And I hate to break it to Clover fans, but being 300 feet tall doesn't help much when your opponent can literally punch through celestial bodies. The military in Cloverfield struggled to damage the monster with conventional weapons, but Omni-Man isn't firing missiles. He's essentially a missile himself, capable of moving at speeds that would make the monster look like it's frozen in time. One supersonic punch from Nolan would likely send Clover's head into orbit while the body's still figuring out what happened. Even if Clover somehow landed a hit on Omni-Man, Viltrumite durability would treat it like a gentle pat. This is a being who can survive in the vacuum of space.
If Omni-Man jerked off in the right direction, his sperm would shoot ahead through the Cloverfield monster. This is the weakest monster that we've had in the lineup so far. This is pointless. This is a pointless battle. His fucking, he could like concentrate on his cum. If he edged hard enough and put enough focus into that edge and it just popped off like a bottle after you twist it too many times and you hit the cap, it would fucking destroy all of the Cloverfield monster and probably the entire city too. I mean, this isn't even a fucking competition.
Explosions that level cities and regenerate from injuries that would turn most superheroes into red mist. As for those parasites, they'd be less annoying to Omni-Man than mosquitoes are to us. Actually, that's not even fair to mosquitoes. At least they can pierce human skin. These parasites would not stand a chance against Omni-Man. The verdict? Sorry, Clover. Being the biggest monster in your movie franchise is impressive, but in this matchup, you're just a bigger target. Size clearly doesn't matter when facing a Viltrumite, but what about someone with almost identical powers? Brightburn's Brandon Breyer is essentially evil Superman with mommy issues. When Omni-Man faces his adolescent reflection, which superpowered sociopath reigns supreme in the weird...
Omni-Man, because of the fact that he's had longer and more time to like hone his tactics and he's not just a child throwing a tantrum, that he does take the dub on this little fucking pussy right here because of the fact that he can outthink him.
Family reunion. From massive monsters to moody teenagers, we've now reached the angsty adolescent portion of our horror lineup. Brightburn gives us Brandon Breyers, basically what would happen if Clark Kent discovered Linkin Park and decided that being a hero was too mainstream. Crash landing in Kansas because apparently aliens have a weird obsession with rural America, Brandon was raised by loving adoptive parents until his 12th birthday. Well, that was when his spaceship started sending him the most motivational of messages. Take the world, not help people or use your powers responsibly, just straight up planetary conquest. Yeah, talk about skipping the whole tutorial level and being a superhero. Brandon's powers read like Superman's resume: super strength, flight, heat vision, and invulnerability to conventional weapons and the ability to make extremely creepy masks out of old blankets. His only known weakness is material from his own spaceship, which conveniently his mom tried to stab him with. By the end of the movie, this preteen horror is causing airplane crashes and leaving his signature symbol at disaster sites across the globe. Pretty impressive from someone who probably still has homework due on a Monday. So how would Brandon face against Space Dad of the Year, Omni-Man? Let's break it down. On paper, their powers are similar. Both are aliens with super strength, flight, and impressive durability. You might think this would make it an even match though. Well, you'd be wrong. Like so wrong. Like the earth is flat level of wrong. Remember when you thought you were hot stuff because you could do a kickflip on your skateboard and then some late 20-year-old dude at the park did a triple backflip while drinking coffee? Well, that's basically this matchup. Brandon
Exactly what I fucking said, dude. I can read this shit so fucking fast, dude. It's because when I get done with stream, dude, I jerk it, catch it in my mouth, spit it onto the screen because I have so much power and skill and knowledge maintained in my body that it's just unfathomable to you plebeians out there who are like, oh, maybe it'll be a good fight. No, he would fucking use his like genius old and mustached face to outmaneuver this little pussy.
had his powers
Like,
for
you have trouble with algebra? I'm gonna rip your fucking head off, dog.
what? A few months? Omni-Man has been honing his abilities for thousands of years. Imagine the encounter. Brandon floating menacingly above some small town, probably about to heat vision someone who made fun of his jacket, when suddenly a mustached blur slams into him, sending him bouncing across stage.
Brought to you by Rogue. Thank you.
Dude, the ads are getting insane on YouTube, by the way. This is like the 5th one I've had on this one video, dude. This is like the 16th ad I've had on this one video, dude. And I just want to see Omni-Man just rip a kid's head off real quick. Is that so much to ask, YouTube? Is that so much to look into, you fucking goblin platform?
Stone. Yeah, it's Omni-Man. The scary part, Omni-Man might actually see potential in Brandon. Here's another alien sent to conquer Earth, with a similar mission to his own. He might even offer to mentor the boy, which would be the most terrifying father-son camp.
Wrong. He's not Viltrumite. So if the kid ended up being Viltrumite, maybe. But Viltrumites are like the fucking white supremacist of space. They do not care about this other race. That other race, he will look at as a threat to the Viltrumite society and will squash it right away and find out where that planetary people come from, and then send the Viltrumite army to go destroy that planet. That's how it will go down, because they're like, what? You dare to mess with the space Nazis' power? No, we've staked claim to this. Time for us to take over your planet. And that's exactly what would go down.
Trip, since, well, you know, Omni-Man's actual camping
It'd
trip.
be like Frieza when Frieza went and took destroyed the entirety of wherever Goku's from, the Saiyan world. When they destroyed the entire Saiyan world, it's like, oh, you're powerful? Well, I don't like that you're powerful, so I'm gonna kill all of you.
With Mark. Well, at this point, Omni-Man doesn't even like his own son, Mark. This would be the perfect replacement, because this son is actually evil, but any alliance would be short-lived. But Brandon's pouty teenage...
I think there's a difference between what people think. So, yes, Omni-Man is a bad guy, right? But in his mind, he is doing the will of the Viltrumite people. It is all for the good of the Viltrumites, right? It has nothing to do with good or bad. He's there on a mission. He is a soldier, right? I think a lot of people think that he's like Homelander from The Boys, when they couldn't be more wrong, because Omni-Man sees this as a mission. Homelander is just a whiny little bitch. Same thing with this kid. So he is a soldier on duty. That's all he is. And he's already like broken rules by having the kids and whatever, but he's definitely fucking, he's there on a job. He's there to do a job, and this fucking pussy's not gonna, like, this isn't, oh, he's evil, so now I'm evil. No, he doesn't see himself as evil. You're misinterpreting the character.
angst would definitely clash with Nolan's my way or the highway type of leadership. And the moment that Brandon challenges authority, Omni-Man would remind him that there's always a bigger fish in the cosmic pond of space. Even with his spaceship material weakness, Omni-Man wouldn't need it. Brandon got knocked around by regular humans.
Also, we've seen that Omni-Man has Omni-Man, compared to the rest of the Viltrumites, has the potential for empathy, right? He does show, because he's like morphing into a good character in the show. I think season 2 and 3 proved that. So again, he is a soldier on duty. He's a soldier doing a job. He never questioned the job. He never did anything. And it came to the point where he needed the job completed, and he'd had enough fun fucking around. It was time to get the job done. So he was there to get the fucking job done. It's not about like, oh, well, he's evil. Yeah, he's evil through the eyes of the humans in society that see this guy's going to destroy their planet. But in the eyes of the Viltrums, he would have been a hero, right? So it's just all about perspective with Omni-Man. When you look at somebody like Homelander, where he's just evil because he's evil, or this kid who's just evil because they're evil, it's a completely different setup. There's more depth than that.
Who just happened to know his weakness. Omni-Man could literally throw him into the sun before Brandon even processed what was happening. The verdict? This wouldn't even be a fight. It would be an adoption followed by the harshest alien boot camp ever.
No adoption. You're wrong in the adoption. I'm gonna say you're so fucking wrong on the fact that you said it's an adoption. I hate when people just put that Omni-Man is this ultimate villain, because he's not that, right? Again, he is a soldier on duty. He is doing what he was assigned to do, and then he starts to have questions about it later, which shows just are we the baddies? Are we the baddies? That's what's happening right now, right? Instead of, oh, he's just like this evil bad guy, like you're putting him you're turning a very in-depth three-dimensional character into a one-dimensional character like some of these others.
Followed by disciplinary action. Yeah, trust me, after 5 minutes with Omni-Man, Brandon would be begging to go back to his human parents. Maybe this was the dad that he needed all along. But from Earth's most disturbed teenager to the
I had a client one time.
I mean, you're again, it's like most disturbed teenager to the most disturbed. He's not, again, I don't think he's even that disturbed. I think that if you look at his perspective, he realizes that his perspective was wrong, because he built upon more perspective by running to this other planet to hide from Viltrum. He starts to see that maybe he was wrong, and then in season 3, he's seeing that now he needs to atone for how wrong he was by sacrificing his own life toward the Viltrumite cause, and only then later changes. So we start to see Omni-Man start to become more of a broader character later in the show and in the comics, because he isn't this one-dimensional character, a man on a mission, not unhinged bad guy like we like to see him as.
Well, Brandon at least had a humanoid form to punch. Our next contender is basically angry Jello with an appetite. When you can't punch, stab, or reason with something, does Omni-Man finally meet his match in The Blob?
I have never seen either of the Blob movies. I haven't seen the original and I haven't seen the remake, and I hear they're fantastic. I hear both of them are fantastic. Now, I don't really want to watch the black and white one, but I need to watch this movie. It's a horror movie that's up there with some of the classics that I've been told to watch. I'm hoping it holds up well, because like when I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre original movie, that movie's garbage. I would rather watch the remake any day. Hate me in the comments all you want for that take. Go watch my the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is bad movie if you really want to. But yeah, dude, don't like that.
The Blob isn't complicated or nuanced. It's basically what happens when someone spills a smoothie and that smoothie decided it's hungry for human flesh. Yeah, there's no motivation here beyond consume everything. And there's no tragic backstory, just an ever-growing mass of gelatinous doom that rolls through town like a very angry, very hungry amoeba. Originally crash landing via meteorite in the 1958 classic, or created as a government experiment gone wrong in the 1988 remake, if you prefer your horror with a side of conspiracy, the Blob starts small but grows with every person it absorbs. Think of it as a deadly all-you-can-eat buffet where you are the main course. What makes the Blob particularly nightmare-inducing is how it kills. It doesn't just eat you, it envelops and dissolves you slowly, breaking down your body while you're still conscious. You're essentially being digested alive. Its only known weakness? Extreme cold. Get it cold enough and it freezes solid. That's why the original movie ends with the Blob being airdropped into the Arctic.
I mean, if people can fucking beat the Blob, right? Omni-Man can beat the Blob. I always think it's funny when there's a comparison where it's like, well, the humans beat it at the end. Then fucking Giga Chat alters angry evil Superman can beat the Blob. I'm sorry, dude. Blob is getting fucking thrown into the vast empty coldness of space and is dying. That's the end. It's over. He fucking won.
Problem solved, right? Well, until global warming enters the chat. So how would this hungry puddle fare against the mighty Viltrumite? Let's imagine the encounter.
No, dude, it has nothing. There is no global warming if you throw it into the vastness of space. It gets too cold out there, it dies. End of story. It's over. It gets too cold. It literally just drops it on the fucking moon where it's too cold to survive, and it dies. End of story. Game over. Global warming's not doing anything to that. It can't fucking fly, so it's not flying out of it's not flying off of the moon. He literally just like captures it in a giant fucking bag or some shit, throws it on the moon, and game over. This is easier than every single other one on this entire list, and that's including Art the Clown, who like Art the Clown would be more of a fucking fight because he can like keep respawning endlessly. It would be like endlessly fighting the same clown that he would eventually have to like lock up somewhere and not kill. But here's the thing with the Blob, it's put it in a fucking bag, put it on the moon, and just leave it there. It's so easy. This is so easy, dog.
Omni-Man is flying over a small town, probably contemplating which civilization to critique next, when he notices something odd, a weird reddish mass oozing through the streets, consuming everything in its path. People are screaming, running, you know, the usual human panic that Nolan finds so tedious to deal with. He lands near the Blob, crossing his arms in that judgmental pose he always does. What's this supposed to be? Earth's defense system? Pathetic. The Blob, being a mindless eating machine, does what comes naturally. It surges towards this new potential meal. But here's where things get interesting. When the Blob touches Omni-Man, it would attempt to envelop and dissolve him like any other usual victim. But there's one problem. Viltrumite skin isn't like human skin.
It has nothing to do with even the skin. He fucking flies backwards at the speed of sound, or the speed of light, or whatever the fucking speed he can do. He just zips back. He's like, oh, this fucking thing bites back. Okay. And he just like fucking gets like a bunch of metal and just surrounds it and then throws it into space. So easy. It's so easy. A fucking toddler, the stupid angry toddler from a few seconds ago could have done this.
This is the same body that can take direct hits from nuclear explosions, survive in the vacuum of space, and endure temperatures that would vaporize steel. The Blob's acidic properties would be about as effective as spraying a tank with a water gun. Did you just try to eat me? Omni-Man would probably ask, more annoyed than threatened. Yeah, even if the Blob somehow managed to completely engulf him, Omni-Man could simply fly upwards at supersonic speeds, breaking free by sheer force. And remember the Blob's one weakness? Cold? Well, guess what's really fucking cold? Space. One quick trip to the upper atmosphere.
I fucking told you, dude. I fucking told you, dog. It's so simple. I mean, I get that he's trying to craft a narrative to keep the viewer engaged and everything, but come on, dude. He fucking just slapped. He uses his dick like a golf club and just like fucking for the Space Blob. Fucking enjoy not ever fucking sucking on the people's wieners anymore.
And the Blob would be flash frozen faster than that ice cream you forgot in the back of your freezer. Or, if Omni-Man was feeling particularly unimaginative that day, he could just fly the Blob into the sun. Good luck dissolving anything when you're being vaporized at 27 million degrees Fahrenheit.
This guy's solution for fucking everything is throw everything into the sun. You gotta be more imaginative than that, buddy. Just put it on the moon, and then when Omni-Man gets bored, he just breaks off chunks and then fucks it. He's like, oh, it's like a pocket pussy, but it used to eat humanity. And because it bites back a little bit, I'm getting more friction, so it's making me come harder. That's a good way to end this.
The verdict? Well, the Blob might be the all-consuming terror of small-town America. To Omni-Man, it would just be an annoying stain on his outfit. Our next monster throws the rulebook out the window, replacing it with a 23-day feeding frenzy every 23 years. When the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers sets its sights on Viltrumite organs, will its ancient hunger finally meet its match in an even more ancient warrior? This ancient demon operates on a bizarre feeding schedule that makes intermittent fasting look reasonable. It wakes up every 23 years, eats for exactly 23 days, then goes back to sleep. Talk about commitment to your diet plan, because I can't even stick to eating healthy for 23 minutes. The Creeper isn't just any random monster though. It's got some weird things it's into. It doesn't just kill people. It carefully selects victims based on which body parts it wants to harvest from them. Think of it as
I still don't see this as that. I mean, like he's tough, don't get me wrong, but it's not gonna be fucking. I feel like the progression of this is all over the place. I thought they were gonna get more tough by the end, but I don't feel like they're getting tougher. I just feel like I don't see Jeepers Creepers guy as being. Now, I haven't seen the second or third movie, but they slowed this motherfucker down as humans all the time. Now, they did lose in the first movie, and he ends up getting his eyes eaten, and this guy goes back to his fucking jerk-off cave. But I don't see, with the fact that they were able to slow him down at all, makes me think that a superhuman fucking Superman guy would just punch his taint through a window.
Shopping, but with more screaming, an old rusty truck instead of a shopping cart. Its powers include supernatural strength, regenerative abilities, leathery bat wings for flight, and an uncanny talent for crafting weapons from the.
He rips the bat wings off and then just fucks him in the ass until he's dead. That's how this ends.
Bones of its victims. Oh, and it can smell fear. Literally, it can sniff out which organs it wants from miles away, which has to be the worst superpower for dinner parties. Also, I heard it's coming after Johnny Sins next. I don't know why it would, but I got an email telling me that was going to happen. So
it's the penis. He wants Johnny Sins' penis because it's been inside enough porn stars that he's like, I want to like take it. I don't even want to put it on my body. I just want to smell it because he's a fucking creeper, right? So he's just creepily smelling Johnny Sins' penis for any leftover vaginal fluid.
How would this organ harvesting demon fare against our mustached Viltrumite? Let's picture this weird battle. The Creeper is cruising down a lonely country road in its old ass truck, blasting Jeepers Creepers on the radio because why not, when it catches an unfamiliar scent. It follows the scent to find Omni-Man standing in a field, probably monologuing about human weaknesses or something equally as fucking annoying. The Creeper circles overhead, assessing this potential.
I feel like he's only fucking watched the first season of Invincible. Let's see here. This was 6 days ago, so he's only watched the first season of Invincible and has like a baseline understanding of Omni-Man and made this entire video, and it's super fucking stupid. Like, how many times do you have to mention the first season tropes and not know that he's changed as a character? You're still putting him in this you're putting him in this little box that's easy and one-dimensional so that you can make it work for all of these things. Oh, evil bad mustache Superman, that's all he is, when he's a much more deep character. There's a lot more nuances going on there, and I think that's like the forefront of all of the jokes in this are off of season 1 Invincible and not off of the other two.
Harvest. Its ancient senses telling it that this prey is different from the usual teenagers it stalks. The Creeper swoops down, talons extended, ready to claim whatever Viltrumite organ has caught its interest. Maybe it's excited about upgrading to alien parts. Yeah, anyways, bad move, buddy. Before the Creeper can even register what's happening, Omnium would likely catch it midair with the same effort you'd use to swat a fly. Yeah, the Creeper is screwed. The fundamental problem for the Creeper is compatibility.
Yeah, this is a big problem. Is it right behind me? Now I'm kind of being a dick, but he's got that fucking TikTok flow down so well that it's kind of degrading on me, because everything about him is one-dimensional. It's like all the same one-dimensional jokes. It's all the same thing. And the thing that sucks is I find the video topic very interesting, and I think that he does a fairly decent job with it, but every one of his jokes are millennial cringe, and it just makes me want to fucking jump out a window to like a bed of spikes, right? I want to just be impaled in every fucking orifice of my body. It's like, oh, have you ever laid on a bed of nails? I want to fucking jump from a 3-story building on a bed of nails. No, in Minecraft or Roblox or fucking Call of Duty or whatever. It's just like, I feel like he boils this character down to simply bad, and then doesn't have any other understanding of what makes him interesting, and then they ruin some of his arguments because like it's a fucking very shallow understanding of a character, which he could add better nuances and better interest into the thing than just, oh, humanity sucks, I'm better than humanity talking points from fucking end of season 1.
Its whole thing is harvesting human organs to replace its own failing parts. But Viltrumite biology is completely alien.
And again, he would see this as lesser than him, right? He would see this as lesser than humanity because its only reason for living is by harvesting human organs, is because it needs them to make him whole. So he's like, you need parts from a lesser species to live. You're disgustingly pathetic and you're beneath man. He would see it as that, right? I like, if you're using his guy's same arguments, it's just,
their organs are designed to withstand forces that would liquefy human tissue. It would be like trying to replace your car engine with a blender. Technically, both have motors, but good luck making that work, genius. Even if the Creeper somehow managed to land a hit, Omni-Man's regenerative abilities far outstrip anything the demon could dish out. And when Omni-Man decided to counterattack, well, the Creeper might be immortal in the movies, but it never faced a being who could punch with enough force to shatter mountains. Yeah, the verdict, the Creeper would go from predator to a pile of goo on the floor faster than you can say, where'd you get those peepers? Its 23-day feeding frenzy would end prematurely, and that rusty old truck would probably end up as a modern art installation somewhere in the upper atmosphere after Omni-Man threw it into orbit. But you know, if a solitary hunter like the Creeper is no match for Omni-Man, what about a species that evolved specifically to kill? Xenomorphs don't just hunt, they adapt.
Jimmy Johns finally has...
The Xenomorphs would be interesting, but the fact that the Predators use Xenomorphs as training to fucking exist, right? So the Xenomorphs utilize the Predators utilize Xenomorphs as training exercises to show that you're a good enough Predator. So you literally go out, the Predators literally like spawn in, and then they kill a gajillion fucking aliens to prove that they're better than the fucking aliens, and then they dip out. They're literally used as fucking training tools for this other species, and you think that they're not gonna get fucking mollywopped by Space Jesus or whatever what you want to call Omni-Man? Like, come the fuck on, dude. They're fucking cooked too. I mean, even the Predator is fucking cooked, and the Predator is a objectively better fighter than the aliens.
Produce to their victims and have acid for blood. When the perfect organism meets the perfect warrior, will Omni-Man finally face something that makes him sweat? If you don't know about the Alien movies, basically imagine the world's worst awful house guest who arrives uninvited, redecorates your chest cavity, and has the worst table manners imaginable. These sleek biomechanical nightmares aren't just random monsters. They're practically perfect killing machines. As the android Ash would put it, they're organisms with structural perfection matched only by its hostility. That's science speak for "you're fucked, dude." What makes xenomorphs particularly terrifying is their life cycle. It starts with an egg, which hatches a facehugger, which is a spider-like creature that latches onto your face and shoves an embryo down your throat. Hours later, a chest burster erupts from your ribcage in the galaxy's worst gender reveal party ever. This quickly grows into an adult xenomorph that inherits traits from its host, making each one uniquely adapted to its environment. Oh, and their blood is basically industrial strength acid that melts through metal, concrete, and pretty much anything else. Even killing them is dangerous. Congratulations, you've just been splashed with corrosive alien blood. Their hive mentality, stealth abilities, and the presence of a queen that lays hundreds of eggs make them a threat that can quickly overwhelm entire colonies. So how would these perfect killing machines fare against the perfect Viltrumite warrior? Let's imagine this acid-dripping showdown. Omni-Man is investing a weird spaceship that came into Earth's orbit. Anyways, he discovers signs of a massacre, claw marks, mysterious resin on the walls, and suspiciously person-shaped holes in the floor. As he explores deeper, he encounters his first xenomorph, probably hanging from the ceiling, because why not?
What's funny is there's actually a creature like these in fucking Invincible in season 2 and 3. There's those things that attach to your face and then take control of your body. I mean, it's not quite, I mean, if they had something pop it out of the chest and became its own creature, but they have a hive mind like creature that exists like this, and I don't know if they can affect Viltrumites quite yet, but I do know that they can affect a lot of shit. So we'll see what actually happens with a creature that kind of like hive minds using the spider crab shits in the actual show. So I'm very excited for that. I looked it up a second ago to see if there was a crossover, because it seems like they just mash Alien in versus everybody in the comics, but I did not see an Invincible Alien crossover, which sucks. I do think that they're getting fucking bodied. He'll just destroy the queen, destroy the planet, move on.
Drops down, hissing and drooling, ready to claim a new, particularly powerful host. The first thing a xenomorph would try is a direct attack. Claws, teeth, and a tail aimed at Omni-Man.
Again, another mistake a lot of people make when they think about Alien is they're like, oh, what if they get a facehugger on him? He is so fucking fast that being a fucking facehugger is not attaching to Omni-Man. I'm sorry. Every time we've seen a facehugger jump on something, it's like something that has like normal mobility. I mean, even the Predator has fairly normal mobility. I mean, it's slightly better than humans, but it's not like leagues and miles better or above it, you know? And even the time we've seen a Predator get hit, he took his fucking mask off like an idiot. But you look at Omni-Man, he can move as fast as bullets. You think that a thing that's jumping across like this, he's gonna see it in slow motion, grab it and squish it, and then destroy every single one in the blink of an eye in a second. It's gonna be nothing for him. I don't see them as that big of a threat. I'm sorry. It's, again, if humans can beat them, Omni-Man can beat them, and humans beat aliens a couple times. Like, you look at how they destroyed the entire world, and they kind of abandoned the world in Aliens, the movie Aliens, but they literally could just destroy that entire planet, and our biohazard the planet, and then just nuke it into oblivion and have nobody land on it again, and the aliens will eventually die off. They already killed the queen by throwing her into space, the vastness of space, so what are we doing here? Omni-Man's fucking sweeping.
These would be about as effective as attacking a tank with a plastic spoon. Viltrumite skin, which can withstand nuclear explosions and planetary re-entry, isn't going to be scratched by alien claws, no matter how sharp they are. But here's where things get interesting. The xenomorph's blood sprays from the impact, splatting onto Omni-Man. Would the acid blood be strong enough to burn Viltrumite flesh? Possibly, but marginally at best. We've seen Viltrumites withstand conditions that would dissolve.
He does not even have to fucking touch them. The planet, okay, let me break this fucking down to you guys real quick. Whole planet is covered in aliens. They're fucking as thick as stabbing into an anthill. They're just flooding fucking everywhere. There's a gajillion of them. He literally finds the one open spot between like the mesh of aliens, because there's so many of them and it's just an infestation. He flies into that and just blows the fucking world up in the middle. Because he's done that before. He literally just obliterates the entire world. They float off into the denseness of space and die. He doesn't ever have to even really engage with the aliens. There is no reason why he'd have to engage with the aliens. And even if you're like, oh, well, what if he's investigating this thing and a facehugger? I've already covered that. Facehugger shoots at him. He, like, literally goes behind it, grabs it, and chucks it out a fucking wall. It explodes. He's like, wow, they have acid. I'm just going to destroy this planet because it seems like a waste of my time. Done.
Matter. Their molecular structure is dense enough to survive flying through a planet. The acid might cause minor discomfort, like spilling hot coffee on yourself, but nothing crazy. The real interesting question though is, could a facehugger successfully implant an embryo in
Fuck no. It has no fucking chance. He's too fast.
Omni-Man? This is where the xenomorphs would truly fail, because facehuggers work by attaching to a host's face, inserting a proboscis down the throat and implanting an embryo. But Omni-Man could 1. Move faster than a facehugger could pounce, 2. Easily tear it off with his strength, or 3. Likely resist implantation due to his alien physiology. Even if by some miracle a chestburster.
I do think that his alien physiology would not help him because of the fact that they use your own molecular buildup to kind of create a hybrid. I think that there would be a chance that it would bust through him, but the being too fast is the only thing you need. You don't need any of the other things. He is too fast for it to jump onto him. There's not a face hugger that is also secretly moonlighting as the Flash. It doesn't exist.
Developed, it would face the ultimate hostile environment, Viltrumite internal organs, which are dense enough to withstand the pressure of deep space and the impact of mountains. The verdict? Yeah, even a hive of thousands of xenomorphs would be nothing more than a messy cleanup job for Omni-Man. Their perfect evolutionary design never accounted for something as powerful as a Viltrumite. It's like bringing biological knives to a superpowered gunfight. And there you have it. Even the most deadly monsters of horror are basically nothing against the most powerful being in the Invincible universe. If you want more videos like this, make sure to comment down below which person you want to see fight a bunch of horror movies, and like and subscribe to the channel because it really helps me out. And if you want to watch more videos just like this, click the video on screen now.
I do think that
What are you still doing here?
Fuck off, dude. I do think it was a really interesting video. I think the premise was really good. I think that there's more horror people that are actually way more overpowered that could have been utilized. I mean, Predator is one of them. I think Predator is more interesting because it would see it as the Predator would see it as a prey, and it would actually like try to outmaneuver it and be smart about it. And it wouldn't win by any means, but I think that was a better addition to the list than some of the stupid shit he put on there, like the Blob. The Blob is like, well, who the fuck thinks the Blob's gonna have a chance? But there, and again, there's shit like ghosts or whatever that might have a chance because they don't have a spiritual body. With they could possess him if they're powerful enough type of entity to maybe possess him and have him off ski himself ski. Maybe that, I guess. But I just don't think that. I don't know. It was like, okay, let's pick a bunch of really popular ones so that I can people will clip this out and put it everywhere. And instead of like actually finding the most powerful entities and monsters out there, I feel like there's way more, and right now I'm about to pee myself, so I can't think of all of them. But yeah, the video was good. I think it was definitely a fun watch. I definitely will put this on definitely a fun thought experiment, something that I enjoyed thoroughly. But I think the guy didn't really have a good understanding of Omni-Man, and that kind of pissed me off throughout the video. But other than that, it was fun watch, and thank you guys all so much, and like and subscribe, and I'm gonna go pee, or I'm gonna do it right in my chair. Alright, we're good. Alright. Now, I have a couple ones. Oh, I just deleted that one. I wanted to watch that one. Alright. So, I have a few more that I wanna go into. I think I'm gonna scrap these two because I don't really have time for them tonight. But I have a couple more that I saw this animation channel pop up on my feed. We're gonna watch the shorter one first because I think that if it's good, I want to watch the second one because the other one really caught my attention. I'm really interested about it. But this is Title Enlarge. I love the name of the channel, Title Enlarge. Like, it just makes me think of what I don't have, which is a very big manhood. I'm very small, which then builds to my intellect. But this is Destiny Never Had a Plot, Destiny animation. Now, I'm pretty sure this isn't Destiny the left-wing streamer. I think this is Destiny the video game, so calm down, you guys, before you think that I'm pooping on your favorite guy in the universe. I don't want to see angry comments about Destiny the streamer. But we're going to check in. I don't really know much about Destiny the game. I tried to play Destiny 2 a little bit, but they'd already removed the free campaign, so I just kind of ran and played the first few missions of all the free stuff I could play, and then I never played it again. But here we go. Let's get into it. Ooh, that's clean. Ooh, if this is as clean as that was, oh, we're in for some fun, buddy. We're in for some real fun.
Once upon a time, thousands of years ago, or maybe a few years ago, or actually somewhere in the future. Wait, recently? Oh, it doesn't matter. Humanity has hit an apocalypse of some sort where everything has died. Now, only a little robot assigned on an important quest in search for a hero, but not just any hero, a guardian. And this is where things in our story begin.
This animation is clean as shit, dude. This is probably some of the best animation I've seen on YouTube in a while. Now, we know that Flash Gitz is my baby daddy. We know that. We know that I like to give Meat Canyon a lot of crap, but I think he's incredible at what he does. But these guys are pretty good. Also, I want to highlight the fact that this guy has a cigarette upside down in his mouth. Like, why does he have the filter out, and why is the filter a little burnt? Like, did the guy get so drunk that he tried to smoke it backwards? Is that what happened? I have so many questions about the backwards cigarette. It's honestly bothering me. Never mind, he broke the cigarette because of how stupid the guy was trying to smoke it backwards.
Well,
Hello, Guardian. Can you see me? I can see you. You look rather handsome.
Bro takes a fucking zombie, is like, let me just give you the effect to utilize your penis again and you'll thank me forever.
yeah, of course I can see you, dude.
It's
Wait.
it's British version of the Postal Dude. It's just the Postal Dude. You think he dies and like the Postal games have been long since dead off before Destiny comes off? No. It's the Postal Dude goes to Destiny, the game, the Destiny world.
Did you just call me
It is
Hans?
so amazing to finally meet you at long last. I'm Ghost. I've been looking across the solar system for so long to find you.
Aw, that's sweet of you, Ghosty, but where the hell are we?
Oh, I have so much to tell you in such little time. But between you and me, this cutscene doesn't allow me to talk to you for very long.
Oh, that's alright, Ghosty, but all I really need to know is
There's no time! We must hurry! Follow me so that we can get you a gun!
Wait,
Nice.
what?
Nice. Let's get some guns, baby. Let's go kill some of these stupid aliens.
Ghosty! What's going on here? Where are we going?
We're getting closer to the light! Only good things can come of this, Guardian. Stop, Guardian! There is danger ahead! Danger ahead! Will you be my friend? I want to be your friend too. I love you.
Oh my god, you are so cute.
Here's a gun! Use it to shoot everything!
But they just...
I'll help you! Oh no! I can't feel my wings anymore!
Bro, just fucking, like, oh, you might be innocent? No, fuck you. My gun always tells me who's innocent and who's guilty, and you deserve to die.
Blind! Who turned off all the lights? I wanna go home. You saved the day, Guardian! Oh, if it weren't for you, we could have been consumed by the darkness.
They didn't look so bad. I think they just wanted to be our friends. Why did I have to kill
Follow
them?
me, Guardian! We must find a ship and get our way to the tower before it's too late! Look, Guardian! It's a ship! It's kind of sat here for some non-coincidental reason.
Bro's trying to kill it so hard, bro. He's trying to kill this fucking thing so hard because it's so annoying. This is like, I love that they, Bungie was like, we have a new idea. You go to the world and you're annoyed by a floating orb. So you mean like Halo? No, it's different than Halo. You have a fucking space motorcycle now.
But we can take it anyway!
Wait a second! Oh my god, there's a noob and he's like level 1, but he's like unbelievably cute. And I'm just gonna have to come over there and I'm just gonna have to give you so many kisses. Kisses. What's going on here?
Hurry, Guardian! Let us get aboard it and say hello to the traveler!
I don't f***ing care where you think we're going, but I am not setting foot with you on that ship until you tell me exactly what I'm doing here or why I have to kill everything.
It's just a pile of fucking dead bodies. He's just been slowly murdering everything. It's just great. I'm so fucking hooked on this. I'm definitely watching the next one. I have to watch another video by this guy. He only has 2 videos right now. And I'm just... This guy's gonna do big things, boys and girls. He's gonna do big fucking things if this is the first video.
Guardian!
No. You need to tell me right now or I am not coming with you!
If you get on the ship, I promise I will tell you everything.
You better not be lying to me.
I'm not.
Well, I think we might have gotten off on the wrong foot here, Ghosty. Beam me up, Ghosty!
Warning, autopilot has been activated. Engines in gear.
Dude, this is when I was trying to play Destiny and there was all this shit they were throwing at me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this game? I honestly felt so lost that's why I stopped playing it, because I was like, I must have missed a lot of shit by not playing Destiny 1, coming into the game so late. I'm not going to buy any of these fucking later level unlocks or whatever the fuck they want to charge you for, like DLCs or whatever, because I don't know what's going on in the previous ones, so why would I jump in midway through? And then I found out the previous ones were gone, like fucking scrapped from the universe. And so why would I get into it? And I just felt so lost. Like, the shooting and the gunplay feel great, but I just never knew what was going on. And I was like begging to find out. And I feel like that's, now I know that's how the rest of the universe felt. They would just go in to shoot shit. And no, there's nothing wrong with that. That's really fun. But maybe that I am missing out on some Destiny lore here. I was told in the past I need to play some Destiny games. Or play some of the fucking different Destiny packs or whatever, because they're really, really good. But I don't know. By watching this, it makes me want to play Destiny a little bit less, because there's just way too much, and I feel like it just drip feeds like pussy juice onto you to make you like think that there is some sort of lore when it's just all over the place.
So, Ghosty, why don't you tell me about...
We must make our way to the tower and say hello to the traveler.
Oh, you motherfucker!
That was really good. This is really, really, really good animation. But I just don't, I never got into Destiny lore. I just felt so fucking all over the place that it just, I don't know. It was just something that I felt like was just so chaos. And now this was made 6 years ago. And I feel like that is a giant world with a lot of shit going on. And I might be wrong, but it's just like, I feel like this was my experience for Destiny 100%. But I just, like, there's so much about Destiny that I wanted to love. There's so much shit that I wanted to get into, and that it just can't. It never really called to me. It was one of those things that I played the first game at a buddy's house. I didn't have internet at the time, so like I had a 360, but I didn't really want to play Destiny because it like required me to be online. And I was like, why the fuck would I buy that when I have so many other games that I gotta play right now? And I just focused on those. But yeah, that's my opinion. The animation was fucking hilarious. Just kill everything, get in the plane, and then just fucking dip. That's brilliant. They deserve way more love. They went 6 years without an upload, by the way, because I have another video that they recently made on Bloodborne because I'm a huge Bloodborne fan, and it was made 8 days ago. Right? Or 8 days as of me recording this, which is insane that they went 6 years between uploads. Like, the first one didn't do well enough. They're like, fuck it, dude. This isn't for me. And then they got, like, a nostalgic itch and came back. I don't know how that did. Like, this is a thing about YouTube, too, that I think a lot of people need to know. You might come out and you might release a video that you think is an absolute banger and is going to blow up right away, and then it doesn't do good, and a lot of people just give up then. And I think that the important thing to do is never feel down, right? Never feel like you need to give up. Just keep pushing forward. Keep pushing shit into the algorithm. If one form isn't working, try another form too. And if you're passionate about the first form, right? Like, I'm passionate about my game reviews, but I know that my game reviews aren't going to be the only thing that builds me on this platform. I can say, yeah, if I just keep putting in the work, keep putting in the effort, getting a little bit better every time on these game reviews, eventually people will show up my thing. Absolutely. That's how that works. People will find something funny, they'll watch my next one, and I have seen that happen, but I wasn't getting the growth that I wanted to see, so that's why I started doing the commentary stuff like I'm doing now. That's why I do the Michael Vickymon shorts. That's why I'm always streaming and stuff, is because I want to make this shit happen. And it's one of those things that I said it was going to happen, so I'm making it happen, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy in that regard. You have to kind of tell yourself that no matter what, you're going to succeed any means possible. So you start building different avenues on how to do it. You're like, oh, well, this guy's doing this, I'm going to try something similar to that. Oh, this guy's doing this, I'm going to do my own spin on that, and I'm going to keep fucking grinding as hard as humanly fucking possible, and then eventually success will come to you if you put enough work in. And I do like that these guys didn't give up, and they decided to come back and hit another one, which from the looks of it, it is doing really, really well. But thank you guys so much for that one. I am going to like and subscribe, do all that shit, and I'll catch you on the next one. Oh, I have one more. I am going to catch him on the next one. I'll do one more. Alright, boys and girls and boys, amphibian demon monsters, we are going to get into a channel we have seen before here. I really liked their first video that they released like a gajillion years ago, and if they released that a gajillion years ago and it was that high quality, I can't wait to get into this. Now, Bloodborne has always been one of my favorite games. I like a lot of the Souls games, but Bloodborne for me was the perfect Souls game. It hit me where I love vampires, I love werewolves, I love the macabre and the it would be kind of like that fucking dark fantasy, that gothic era. I love all that shit. So when I played Bloodborne, it was there for me. Now, I would love to play like a really good FPS game that does like the similar style world or something, and I think Clockwork Revolution, when that game comes out, is going to give me a taste of that. But I would love to play a game, and I know that there's a game out there called oh god, it's one of my favorite games, Darkwatch, and Darkwatch does it too, and I would love to see more of that because that's more my genre. Or even a game that is more RPG based, that has like that quick flashy more like entry level, or not entry level, but more like everyone approachable game that does something like Bloodborne, but really fleshes out the story where it's not very so from softy, where it's just kind of lore here, lore there, lore everywhere. I would like just like a streamlined story-based game to do more with a world like that. I would love to see more of this, and I was surprised that there wasn't a ton more like this after the success of Bloodborne. But let's get into this one, guys. I want to see this contract is a scam. Bloodborne 10th anniversary animation. I'm so excited for this.
Ugh. 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 My head.
Oh, hello, outsider. You have at last awoken.
Where am I?
Don't worry, you are quite safe.
I do like that they realized that everybody is kind of moving away from the intro bullshit, because like this is a mistake I made when I first started YouTube. Was I would do like the long intro that covered up the entire screen. It was funny and it was a pretty good intro. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the best, but it was funny. And I kind of realized that the intro is where people click off a lot of times. And even though their intro was fucking so amazing in their first video, the realization of the industry and how they made it real small and over in the corner here is brilliant. It is brilliant because they knew that they're trying to grow, that they want this one to succeed because they took so much time in between, that they're like, okay, what is the industry doing differently and how can I apply that to my own shit? And that's just some juicy dick energy. Now you might say, well, isn't that, you should say big dick energy? No, I'm not going to shame those micro lads out there who are just living their life to the best of their abilities, trying to survive with their massive intellect like me. No, I'm talking about that juicy dick. You know what I mean, dog? It's like nobody wants a massively big pussy. We want that juicy pussy. So I'm trying to think of things on a spectrum, or like on a deeper plane of existence.
Here, you have nothing to fret about.
Shit!
So, are you ready to proceed with your transfusion?
What? Wait, I didn't ask for a transfusion!
Ah, but you did, my child. You must have been so overwhelmed by your surroundings that you simply fainted from the excitement and were carried to now where you presently sit. There's no room for shyness in my clinic. No need to worry. We are all well-acquainted friends. I assure you.
Bro just gives him fucking dragon AIDS, just gothic super AIDS without his consent, and that's how you start the game off. And it is quite wild that he like gets like bummed in the asshole, and then all of a sudden is just fed some fucking blood AIDS at the beginning of the game.
Huh? Wait a sec. I know you.
Really? Oh shit, I mean, yes! Everybody knows who I am. I'm your favorite doctor, administrating transfusions, fully trained and equipped in aiding your troubles with my medical expertise. In a dark room, with no way of unlocking the doors. Yup, practically no escape.
I only came here for a prescription of pills and a checkup on my backache. But, in fact, this isn't even the same clinic. Why is there so much shit all over the floor?
Oh, we had a disturbed patient who left this place in a bit of a mess. It's under control now. So, let's focus on your blood transfusion.
Bro, I wouldn't trust the fucking... At this point, this doctor is the most fucking goon goblin to ever exist. This dude probably had sex with my butt while I was getting this transfusion, because he was willing to knock me out when I just came in for like allergy medication, and now I'm getting a transfusion of fucking gothic AIDS, bro. So I know he did things to my asshole.
Wait! It's coming back to me now. I remember I was leaving the hospital. I was feeling low on energy, and just outside of my way back home was an old-fashioned ice cream vendor selling cones. So I bought one and... I swear I passed out. And as far as I could tell, it was run by some creepy old...
Bro, Bill Cosby'd him. This isn't even the doctor. Dude, Bill Cosby him, took him to his house so that he could experiment on his butthole, and then put a sounding rod in his penis, and then give him gothic AIDS, bro. This is the way to start your weekend, bro. This sounds like a fun-ass time.
Guy in a wheelchair. God damn it! I've been kidnapped! Jesus Christ! Ice cream vendors can be deceiving. Who the hell are you?
No, now, don't panic. I'm not what you think I am. Just let me explain. Here's the thing. I'm not actually a kidnapper. I've come to offer you, my friend, an amazing opportunity.
Which is why you...
Bro, he's like, have you ever heard of this steak knife company? Now, what I'm going to need you to do is go around and tell other people if they sell this steak knife, they too will be a partial owner. And then if they find somebody else, they will be a partial owner. And don't actually sell the steak knives, though, and don't tell your family about it. Just random people, all right? And then you'll just keep getting more and more people to sell this thing, and you'll be at the top, and you'll be like CEO of the company. I'm pretty sure that's a pyramid scheme. No. You see, pyramids go like this. This is more like this. You see what I'm saying? You need to spread the pussy and lick inside. That's what I'm doing here. You're making a pyramid, and I'm spreading a pussy with money.
Spike my ice cream? And somehow brought me back here in only a wheelchair? My God.
And now, I'm here to rectify your pain with a free blood transfusion. Better than that National Health Service from that ex-European place no one likes anymore. And even better medical insurance than Yankee Towns. Not that we get many of those customers.
Bro, it's the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Pyramid. I brought up pyramid schemes, and then I just willed into the future a pyramid. Let's go, dude. I'm a fucking genius.
Don't you understand? I'm not your enemy. I'm your friend. So don't you see? I'm a good person.
That's what all bad people say, you old creep!
How dare you strike an old man? I'm going to elaborate on your situation, so listen to me carefully. All variations of blood are available through the church. Presently, you have been after red blood transfusions.
No, I've only been after pills.
Oh, you have been after medicinal capsules to smooth your physical pains. But you really don't want that. That's an expensive, redundant form of treatment with temporary effects. And you've always known that, haven't you?
It's just the way it is.
Perhaps what you need instead is a more lucrative formula of treatment. An advanced remedy with unquestioned success. In short, what you seek is Yharnamite blood. Far more advanced than red blood and any form of medication, with healing properties only in reach of those rich and privileged enough to purchase the stuff.
Yeah, or be guinea pigged into it.
It's a lot for anybody to consider. No doubt you will be wondering, where is an outsider like yourself to begin?
I don't know. How about the front door so I can call the police and run?
Oh, don't be so shy. There is no strings attached. I merely wish to share my services of advanced medicine. But first... You need a contract.
I'm not signing anything!
What?
No shit, dude. Bro fucking kidnaps you, throws you in his basement, gives you fucking gothic AIDS. I'm not signing dog shit, bro. I want to know what you did to my butthole and why there's a sounding rod in my penis. These are the questions I need fucking answered, my homie. Jesus Christ, like I'm gonna fucking sign your paperwork.
You must. It's standard medical practice for the insurance of both the doctor and the patient. Otherwise, you're not going to get your transfusion.
What if I never wanted it? I only have back pain!
But that will be but a distant memory, my child. This blood transfusion is so extraordinary that it will free you of all bodily pain. for the rest of your life. Strain, aches, nausea, and even carpal tunnel from playing too much Bloodborne. You need only unravel its mystery. You literally have everything to gain.
What do you get out of all of this? Not even the kindest doctors would offer this sort of level of treatment for free.
There's plenty that you can unravel with Yharnam's miracle blood, but some things are best kept secret for now. But either way, haven't you been bound by your medical treatments for long enough?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Did you guys in chat, would you guys think like, oh, I have back pain, so this guy who kidnapped me put a sounding rod in my penis, did things to my asshole because now it's coming out way easier than it did before. Would you then be like, I'm gonna sign a contract so I can let him fuck with my blood a little bit? Would you do that? Because I wouldn't. I wouldn't be willing to get gothic AIDS from this like creepy crippled guy. I'm sorry, dude. There's not a single time where I'm thinking, well, he might not be that bad. He only Bill Cosby'd me. It's not that big of a deal. I just don't see it happening for me. I don't care how bad my lower back ouchie is. I'm not willingly getting like roofied, dog. This is not gonna be for me.
Wouldn't it better suit you to have the freedom to move freely without such physical constraints hindering your vulnerable livelihood?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All wounds of tissue, bone, and blood will be practically impervious and will continue to be after the treatment has completed. Your biosystem will be enhanced. You will surpass your limitations with a swift eye to think on your toes in the heat of any dangerous moment that comes to you.
Oh, you mean like finding something to knock you out with so I can escape this place?
Even greater! You'll be amplifying your strength, endurance, agility, vitality.
My question would be, why the fuck haven't you used it? If it's so that great, bro, why the fuck are you still in a wheelchair, dog? If it like changes your bones into super bones, why the fuck are you still in a wheelchair, my dude? Why haven't you done it? These are questions that he should be answering, but instead he's like, I have back pain, ouchie, and I think that your fucking Minecraft pickaxe is really cool, so I might let you give me fucking gothic AIDS. It might be the best solution for my back ouchie.
Just sign the contract and everything will be sorted. There's a copy for each of us. Your signature will bleed through to the other side, so just fill in your name on those dotted lines. And then the process will all be signed and sealed.
Buddy, you put the pad on the wrong side. I think you're hemorrhaging a little bit too much blood. Seriously, you need to go and see a hospital.
But we're already inside the best hospital in the world, my friend.
It's a fucking shithole! Of every ward that I've ever been to, I have never once had to be locked in by my fucking doctor to stop me from escaping! You've got hanging blood rags which still haven't been cleaned properly, a landfill of confidential records that still haven't been archived, and there's used syringes in a fucking bucket with expired crap that's still inside them! You have quite literally violated every hospital regulation! Why hasn't the government shut you down yet?
Because we're that good.
You're gonna kill me, you stupid old man!
Alright, that's
Because
it.
we're that. What you might not know is this is actually my basement, and in my basement I like to do things to men's buttholes who like to buy ice cream out of me. More bloody ice cream. It's bloody good, and by good I mean I am going to have lots of fun with your butthole later. I will stretch it, and I will squeeze it, and I will kegel it. All the ways I like it to feel around my cock-a-doodle-doo. These are the things I will do to you. And this is like exactly why he doesn't care about how many dirty syringes he has, because he just wants to just keep dosing you up, give you some gothic AIDS, so that when he gives you gothic AIDS from his penis, it's actually not from his penis, it's from the blood bag.
Just calm down, okay? Look at this.
If you think I'll let you transmit a disease to me with that thing, forget it!
It's clear you're one of those patients that needs to earn my trust first. You're so young, so cautious, yet so full of potential. So let me demonstrate a sample of this miracle blood to remedy my sore head.
You were crushed by a massive cabinet and you still haven't been able to keep your hands from shaking from the blood loss. Go and see a doctor!
I appreciate your concern, but this, my sweet child, is what we call modern medicine.
You should have called it fucking stupid.
Observe! No!
You cannot be serious.
Never judge a book by its cover. It may just surprise you.
Well, it didn't cure his legs and the fact that he's in a wheelchair, so that must be terminal. You can't fix terminal issues, I guess.
I believe this needs signing. We go under a different kind of regulation. Without worry for the well-being of others? Well, I suppose it's only fair to worry if you've never experienced an established medical system.
No more back issues for the rest of my life?
Not even death can take you by surprise. Trust me. You have made a most wise decision.
Wait, I didn't get to read the small text because it was all drowned in blood. I didn't need to take a look at it before we start this, did I?
Oh, it's just the boring terms and conditions. You know, the standard medical paperwork for anybody under this roof. You just rest your head for me. That's a good girl.
I'm a fucking bloke!
What? Your beautiful long hair tricked my manhood. Catfish!
You creepy, degenerative old bastard!
I told you, the whole time he's doing things to his butt, and he put the sounding rod in, which was actually just a really thin dildo. And he was like, oh, I'm doing so many things to your butt and your weirdly shaped elongated clitoris. This is weird that this specimen of mine has such an elongated clitoris. I haven't seen one like this since I was a wee lad.
My gender could not have been more obvious. Just look at yourself, for fuck's sake. When was the last time you cut your long hair? Maybe when you were 90? How old are you now? 300?
Oh, stop it. You're making me shy.
I wasn't being nice to you. Now, would you please remove me from these bondage straps? I'm not into that sort of thing.
It's just to ensure that your blood flows naturally despite your bodily reactions. Once we are done, I'll set you free. Now then, hold still. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
Well, nothing's happening at the moment. I mean, what am I supposed to fix? I feel really shit. Actually, I think I'm okay.
What? You're still awake?
Yeah? Aren't I supposed to be?
Well, it's rare, but...
Wait a sec. What? In fact, I do feel better. My back pain's completely gone. I think I'll just go now. Thanks a lot.
No. It's not finished yet.
What do you mean? I don't need to stay any further. You can help somebody else.
This blood transfusion takes time. If interrupted, it could reverse the effects. Just stay a bit longer.
Oh. Well. Okay.
Dude, this is so good. I'm so fucking locked in. I don't think I've watched an animation where I've been this fucking locked in to the characters, the development, the back and forth is so good. This is so fucking good, dude. I made a lot of asshole and slightly unconsensual jokes, but at the end of the day, this is just really well done.
Can I read a book or something?
Well, not really. Most people are asleep during the process. I mean, you could always read your copy of your contract. I cleaned the blood off of it.
Sure. Pass it here. Hold on. Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute! For the transfusion of blood to be authorized by the Healing Church? Oh, God. You're a Jehovah's Witness affiliate, aren't you?
I am a humble man who tends to the sick. You don't need to speculate with me.
I hereby title The Waste of Skin solemnly enlist myself to the call of duty in recompense, slaying anybody whom doesn't indiscriminately wear top hats or speak the Yarnamite tongue. Footnote, not to be confused with Marmite.
Fucking Marmite. I don't know if you guys know how Marmite's collected. So there's the Marmites that live, they're like little goblin creatures that live under the sewers of London. And what they do is they capture them and they put them in a bag. They take the bag back and then they all use their collective British penises to beat them into a mush with their penises. It has to be with penises, because of the fact that during the beating process, a little bit of jizz seeps in. And once they have this goblin mush jizz concoction, they then bottle it and sell it to the masses in England.
Bipedal or quadriplegic fluffy scum tied with the uprising cult of furries pledged to the androgynous house of Fur Affinity? And any other supernatural controversies pertaining to alcoholic middle-aged incels or unregulated astral reincarnations of macaroni and cheese?
Keep going. You've nearly made it now.
Oh, Christ, it gets even worse. Under no objection am I to petition any outcry over any accusations of mass genocide or pathological backlash from those perceived as innocent civilians, even if physical and psychological trauma is evident. Under the decree of Article Fuck You, Section I Hope You Die, You Sweaty Shit. What the hell is this garbage?
I hate dealing with the young ones. They never stop talking. Wait a minute. I can stand again. Oh shit, no I can't. Wait. Why's that falling down? No, no, no!
Oh, that was really good. That was really fucking good, dude. I really enjoyed that. It wasn't what I expected. I figured there'd be more him going through killing werewolves and stuff, and more of like the action part of Bloodborne, but the fact that it just spent the whole time with the doctor and him, and it still made it incredibly engaging where there wasn't a single moment I wanted to stop watching, that's super, super good and super impressive, and I want Title Enlarged to keep fucking putting out content like this. This is brilliant. This is up there with something like Flash Kids, hands down. Now, the first one he did, the Destiny one, I thought was really funny. It wasn't like the biggest, pull. I mean, it really played on the fact that Destiny gave up on its story. It played on the fact that Destiny doesn't have a lot of story. I liked that the main character looked like the Postal dude. But at the end of the day, it was really short, really sweet, and I didn't feel like there was a ton of progression with the main character. This one, you watch both characters go through like highs and lows. There was good character development, interesting twists here and there. It had like a good pacing, and which is really hard to do for just two characters sitting in a single room. I fucking loved this. I fucking so loved this so much. It was incredibly well done, and yeah, dude, I can't wait to see more of the shit that these guys do. This was incredible, and I hope even people who watch my shit enjoy this shit and then go give him some love. His name's Title Enlarged. Go subscribe to him. He is fucking impressive, and I can't wait to see him do more, because I think this guy is moments from becoming even bigger than, or not, maybe not bigger than Flash Gitz or Meat Canyon, but I think that he will be talked about in the same regard here in a few years. I truly think that as long as he keeps putting out content, I mean, to the fact that, like, if he can keep this shit going and keep making more stuff like this, so that Because like 8 days ago, he was talking about needed to hit 1,000 subs on YouTube, and they've hit the 1,000 subs. I want to see them hit fucking 10K subs in the next few months. I want to see them make so many more of these animations, and I will fucking enjoy them and watch them on my channel, like watch and commentate on them on my channel as well, and try to get my word out there as much. I know I'm still small. I'm still under 1,000 subs, or maybe when I release this, this portion of the stream to the wider audience, I will be bigger than 1,000 subs, but I want my nipples to be tied in a knot, and I want to lick them to this content as much as humanly possible. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed my spontaneous interruptions of fun, and I hope you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.